I'm back.
Hello and welcome to the Captain's Table, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astropub, your space bar at the end of Twitch. Tonight we've got Captain's Table, which is our local, our community podcast where I bring people from all over the community together to discuss Star Citizen and Star Citizen accessories. Sometimes we talk about Star Citizen. Sometimes we do dumb shit like just run out into the hallway and scream very loudly in drunken manner. Dovak, you have to match Eris's passion from last week. I expect angry rantings.
Oh God!
That called passion? Fuck. That was passion, all right.
That was some serious drunken passion.
Look, David's a fucking nightmare person. Don't you dare compare me to him. He's a dirty Canadian, and basically not even a real human being.
And now Nubifier.
I won't lose my mind though.
Nubifier, we brought Nubifier on this week so he can apologize for his Canadian brethren and bring the passion down just a little bit.
I think he's half Canadian.
Well, that would explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hybrids never work.
Did you have a hybrid card?
For those of you guys who have never been here before, how the Captain's Table works is I bring people on who are from, every week is a different cast, and except for me, because you have to look at me the entire time. But the entire cast, we talk about various goings-on of Star Citizen. We don't necessarily have a set schedule. We will talk about what's going on during the week, but if we go off on a tangent about one small aspect of the game that may be 4 years in the future, then we talk about that. Wherever the people who are passionate want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So the first hour is just us discussion. The second hour should be questions. Please, God, keep your questions to a minimum. I don't need 3 to 4 hours of Captain's Table because people will leave. You know, as much as awesome as it is sometimes, with the right cast, you can fit 4 hours, and it's raining here.
Third hour striptease, fourth hour orgies.
Yes.
Basically, fifth hour is you don't want to know.
I didn't want to know about the other two. I didn't want to know. Where's Eris?
We're going to go around the table first and introduce everyone. Make sure you guys go follow all these people. ! Podfollow in chat to follow them. They're all fantastic content creators, and you should be watching them. Except for Dovak, who's a terrible content creator who you should watch because it's like a train wreck. It's like a train wreck in slow motion to see him fail.
Like a glacier.
Yeah, it's like it's very slowly crashing into something. So, to start us off with that horrible person, Dovak, who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen?
I'm Dovak. I just kind of be around a lot. Right now, I'm going to be on this podcast. I'm drinking a very large Mai Tai that I made for myself right before going live, where I used way too much rum.
It's cute that Dovak finally discovered how to mix drinks. It's just the funny part.
So, I'm just going to sit here for like the next several hours and just be a nightmare person. I'm going to get angry. Here's what I like about the Captain's Table. It's like deep philosophical discussion, just surrounded by anger.
And alcohol.
It's like a donut, right? And that's what you're gonna get with me. I'm a donut man. I'm a donut boy. I'm a little pudge, but it's all anger. It's not fat. I'm not fat. It's anger. Move on. I'm out.
All right.
Mic drop.
Next, we have the man who shamelessly shielded himself on my helmet for about 6 months. At CitizenCon last year, he walked up. I was wearing the helmet. He walked up and just put his sticker on my helmet. I'm like, you know what, Nubifier? I'm going to wear this. And he's like, all right. And I wore it until GDC of this year because I walked up and I had Nubifier on my helmet. And someone walked up to me and goes, are you the Nubifier? And I was like, yes, I am the Nubifier. No bullshit.
That's how you got your partnership on Twitch.
Yes, totally.
The Nubifier.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
you must
Nubifier
be.
sticker.
So at CitCon, someone asked me where I got the Nubifier shirt from.
I remember that. I was there.
Awesome.
I was there for that.
So
I was
cool.
sitting next to you when he walked up to you.
At the Nubifier store. Anyways. So hello, Twitch streamers. I'm the Nubifier. I'm a YouTuber. I'm part of the Redacted guys. And thank you for having me. That's about it.
Go follow him.
Go follow me if you like. If you like what I'm doing, please check it out and subscribe for more.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then we have the latest addition to content creation, streaming and YouTubing. Apparently, he's just doing podcasts. He's doing other things as well. Senor Dagenator, how are you? What do you do in Star Citizen? All that sorts of thing.
Hello, I am Darinator, and I may not be as sober as I appear. Yes, I started streaming badly, and I started making videos badly. To which I will add that I continue to drinking alcohol well. Do continue.
Moving on, we have a new face to the table. Not new face to content creation though. Senor Solidarity Report.
Signore.
He's hanging out. You'll also probably see a little bit of madness running around in the background because they're both coming back fresh from a Bar Citizen. So, but what do you do in Star Citizen? All sorts of things.
So I am a Star Citizen streamer, all-around bad guy. I got this man here running around. I'm drunk on sake, and overall Star Citizen lover. Let's keep it to that.
Alrighty.
Who are you, Mr. Kelly? Tell him.
I'm just a drunk who owns a space bar and pretends to play space bartender in space. That's
Are you drunk on sake? That's the question, because that's
Are you drunk on sake?
That's a very specific
yeah.
drunk.
That's like
yeah.
You know how some people get pissed off when they're on beer. They get like they want to fight things, and then you give them like hard liquor and they get calm. I don't even know what you would get normally on sake. You
get really
fall
trolly.
down?
It's really trolly. You become a troll when you're on sake. Because every time I've seen someone on sake, they're like, "I'm gonna fuck with somebody."
Also,
that's how World War II happened. Just Japan got drunk on sake and was just like, "I'm gonna fuck with people."
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's history.
The
history
real
fact,
cause
answering history.
That is table. That is the reason behind Pearl Harbor is sake. Yeah, let's just go fucking
I still think that's
planes
too soon.
into ships.
I mean, World War II was like 80 years ago, and it's still
too
soon.
soon.
Yeah,
They were a nation of people with bows and arrows and swords, like
And sake.
crazy
And
swords
sake, yeah.
and like
sake.
ninjas, and they just got super fucking wasted and made some.
Also, may I add, we
like-
are drunks. We are not alcoholics. Alcoholics
this
go
is
to
going
meetings.
down.
We go
yeah,
to
we're
parties.
just.
we're keeping the standards low here at the captain's table.
I think we've already outperformed Eris's rant. It's been 4 minutes.
Anyways,
So
It wasn't a high bar. Like,
So-
let's not.
let's talk about this week in terms of content though, because this week was actually a really good week in terms of just hardcore content. Like, no bullshit, no little free fruit. Like, look at these pretty images, but actually, like, hey, here's content. Like, here's the shit that's gonna happen in 3.0 and beyond. Was there anything this week that stood out from the whole week of content? Anything you saw on Spectrum or anything else like that?
The amount of time I masturbated over that freelance the Crash Freelancer with the day-night cycle
so
clip.
good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Why did you have to go there?
He's just being very honest with you, Nibberfire. That's
You
all.
just said you liked it.
I am
The
an
freelancer
honest
is the
person.
most
Okay.
dong-shaped
This
ship.
is-
It's like
here's
the most
how I would've-
penile
Exactly.
life ship, so he just felt it was necessary.
I would have done it like this.
Yes.
Hi, I really liked the Freelancer on today's Around the Verse, or this week's Around the Verse, not like... Anyways.
Double fisting.
Yes.
He's milking the freelancer.
Was there anything else though? Like, other than that freelancer GIF was amazing. Like that day night cycle. I also like that.
And we're not getting it in 3.0. God damn it.
Wasn't there? I mean, we might. It just may not. It's not going to be. It's not going to be inhabited. Like,
Yeah.
No. I mean the day-night cycle. We may not be getting it in 3.0.
What, planetary rotation?
we're getting planetary rotation in 3.0. I think.
Well, then you're going to get
there's
there
day-night
was
cycle.
there was
there's
dark
been
right.
musings from
There was
Spectrum,
something.
from devs. It's not
Yeah.
100% confirmed.
Yeah.
At this point, as long as I
been
can
a little
land
bit
on
back
it.
and forth. There's a
Okay.
little bit back and forth on that.
Yeah.
I like how this podcast is just like the mystery week, right? This podcast, what am I talking about? It's this week in Star Citizen. It's just
Dun-dun.
mystery week. We got the Tumbril shit. We got the super secret see it from space derelict thing. We got it's like
the hurricane or the cyclone which showed up,
Cyclone?
which
Yeah.
is
The Dyson.
I'm
Vacuum
thinking
cleaner.
I think it's a freaking starter ship of some kind because you have 5 variants between $45 and $65. That sounds like a starter ship to me.
What?
I was
So what
thinking
other ship does
land
that?
vehicle. I was thinking land vehicle. I think this is going to be
The only thing that does that is
Reliant.
the Reliant, but you also
The
have
Ursa.
Mustang.
the Mustang and the Aurora
Mustang.
both have them. All of those are starter ships. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
the Cyclone, which I think was originally on that list of potential starter ships. I may be thinking of the
but
Hurricane
it can only be a starter ship if you can get it with a package. And
Yeah,
they have
I
it
agree.
From that,
Yeah.
it's standalone ship, $45 to $70.
So is the Cutlass a starter ship?
I technically,
Just-
if you can get a package with it, you can also get a package with
Cutlass is like tier 2 starter ship.
Yeah. Anyways.
yeah.
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 It's deliberate. So I wanted to ask a question on that. Seeing how we're just getting into this, you have your $45 to $70 thing. Do you think that it's going to be like a buck? You know how you have your Vanguard, Harbinger, Sentinel that you can change between, or do you think it's going to be like the black, red, blue, where you buy a hull and you're locked down, or do you think it's going to be like a Caterpillar where you can just make it whatever you want?
Well, we don't know which manufacturer it is, so I don't think it's. I think they said they're done with Drake, so I don't think it's a Drake.
Oh, there have been too many Drake's ships.
It's-
Yeah.
it-
I think we
probably
need to
an
return
An-
to Anvil.
It's either Anvil or Origin, one of those two, because Anvil
Or something new. It's
Yeah.
it's
I
Anvil
don't
or
think they're
something.
doing Origin before they do anything with the 600.
Yeah,
I think
that's
the
true.
600
Because
is-
the 600i is supposed to be the framework for the new Origin rework and all that stuff.
Well, the 85X, but you can't really do a lot with the 85X.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a lot of Anvil either lately, besides the Terrapin.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, am I the only one who thinks that the Terrapin's ass looks like Bumblebee from Transformers?
You mean it's just a nightmare?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with the Cyclone, right? I am thoroughly convinced that the Cyclone is a land vehicle. There was an image that was like in like the weekly newsletter thing of it coming soon, and there's pretty clearly some wheels in there.
There's other ships
And-
with wheels.
And
M50.
true.
Wow.
But
No,
it-
It's like a tire.
huge.
yeah, it's a large wheel. And with the whole tumbril thing, that if you don't know, the RSI Twitter tweeted the word tumbril, which was during the French Revolutionary War. Was it's basically a cart a two-wheel cart used to carry anything.
It's
really.
the
It's
two.
transportation.
If you ever see like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they're like bring
The
out
body
your
ring.
dead,
Bring out your
and,
dead.
and he
Yeah.
carries,
It's one
that's a
of those.
tumbril. That's a tumbril.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like you could attach it to a horse, or you could just.
Hand
So
drag
we're
it.
thinking
behind
a
you.
pickup truck,
But,
like a
um,
cube
So-
truck.
so
for
it's
the
like a
base?
big wheelbarrow.
I'm hoping it's a cube truck because that's
Yeah.
the one thing that we've been needing for a long time was a flatbed or something you can carry the containers, like a container truck,
Yeah.
kind of like
And
a
the Great Cat's the Great Cat's junk for that, obviously.
Yeah, it can't do it.
But like,
and neither is the Ursa. The Ursa can't carry that kind of cargo. Neither can the Dragonfly. Neither can the Nox. So we need something that will be able to be like, hey, I'm a cargo hauler. I'm gonna take bring my stuff down and then
Basically,
drive
it's a
it
thing
to
to play spin tires on planets.
on planets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the different variants that they've talked about with the Cyclone, I can with like ranging up. Think of the Avenger, right? We have like the Avenger Titan, which is that like, hey, this is pretty much just a hole and there's nothing in it, right? That's like the whole point of this thing.
It's also the best one.
All the way up to super specialized with the Warlock, right?
Yeah.
I could see something like that with the Cyclone, where it's just like, hey, this thing in its most basic, cheapest form, it's just a fucking platform, and you could just stick shit on it and go, and then maybe spec all the way up. Hey, now it's a mobile AA turret, like
Group
Sam
transport.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could also see it being like also the difference between like a flatbed truck and an 18-wheeler. Like the small version is just like a flatbed, but then as you go up, it goes from being a flatbed to being like an 18-wheel, like being able to carry like 2 or 3 cargo, like store all cargo units,
Or,
I was
maybe like
getting
one of
the
those
sense. I was getting
Australian
the
road
sense it would
trains.
stay.
like road trains, like Australian road trains.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
like 4, 5, 6 trailers attached to it.
I was getting the sense. I don't get the sense personally that's going to be like a whole series thing, where it's going to be like the very different versions are like kind of the same but still dramatically different. I think it's going to be different like loadouts of the same thing.
Like the Reliant.
Yeah,
How you have
yeah,
like
exactly.
different purposes for the same basic frame.
Yeah, like the Avenger, like the Reliant. Yeah, like
That's
stuff.
what I'm thinking. Because I don't, not that CIG doesn't get complicated, but I think that the idea of making a land train or all this other stuff, we're starting to get into weird game mechanics that they may not be ready to make, or
Also,
trailers
for the price, I don't think it's going to be a large enough vehicle to merit modularity with
No.
changeable modules. It will have to be different from the get-go. Like the entire chassis is going to have to be different.
I personally am seeing something slightly bigger than than Ursa or a Lynx, right? Maybe slightly longer, maybe slightly wider.
Starfare or bigger to move it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be it's kind of like a tier 2.
We're not talking something that can be transported in a constellation. We're talking about something that you have to transport in like a hull or a
This thing, and like you're gonna take this thing to a planet because it has a purpose on that planet. It's not gonna be like I'm just gonna have my Ursa in the back and we're gonna go land wherever. We're just gonna dick around for a while.
Maybe the small version. Maybe the small version could fit in like a constellation.
Yeah,
but
I can see that. But it's just like I'm gonna take this to this planet because I have X on this planet. I'm gonna take out my mobile SAM variant. Yeah. I'm gonna offload it here because we're gonna do some shit.
I don't think the small version will fit in the constellation because even for the Ursa, they had to make special kind of mechanism for the wheels to tuck him in to fit into the cargo.
That's true.
So anything bigger than the Ursa will not fit.
You're all right. The Ursa was kind of like shit. We said it would fit, so we kind of have to like.
Well, what are your thoughts? Sorry, what are your thoughts on the size then? Isn't that kind of a limiting factor for the vehicle? Doesn't that kind of remove some of its universality?
Yeah,
right.
It's definitely going to have that problem. I think we're gonna deal with that. It's just like everything up to now has been almost transportable in a Freelancer. Like almost everything can be, except for the Ursa. And even we don't even know the Freelancer Max may be able to transport an Ursa. We don't know the size change or anything like that yet.
Yeah.
So
I think it might be cool if it was like almost like a mobile platform, right? Where it was
like a mobile base rather than not
necessarily, but it's just like imagine like an AA turret, right? Or either like fully an anti-air gun like Zeus, or just like a AA missile SAM turret, right? Like that's something that you're not going to drive around. That's something you are going to take off your ship and you're going to park it somewhere, and it's going to serve its purpose there. Like if and this is getting super into theorycraft zone. It's the Dolbeck theorycraft zone.
It's fine because we have nothing else to go on other than it's a little buggy.
We know we're having baseball.
I actually love the smallest version to be like a single person dune buggy, like a Nox or a Dragonfly, but on wheels.
That has like some small cargo capacity or something like that, maybe. Well,
Fuck that! I don't even care about that.
It's a Cyclone, though, So, like the Cyclone, to me, when you say Cyclone, I think something that's big and fast, something that's.
What about an Argo with tires? Yeah, a personal transporter and a truck version. I mean,
I could totally see that. I could totally see that. And then you can easily just mount some shit on top of it.
Argo inherently doesn't have variants. It's basically just whatever you attach to
the box, whatever you grab.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could absolutely see that.
What I love to see is, and I have to agree with Dolvak here a little bit. If you have trucks, you have something that can transport cargo, you have something that can transport people, maybe. If you need the 8 military guys in the back, and that's maybe the different variants that we will see. One with just the cargo space, the cheapest version. One with something where you can house your soldiers in, a bit more expensive. One a bit bigger, a trailer behind it, maybe something like that.
I do think this is going to be more specific. I do feel it's going to be like a Reliant or like an Avenger, where it's like the thing that you are using the $45 variant for is going to differ greatly than the thing you are using the $75 variant for.
Yeah, it's like the difference between like a Mustang Alpha versus Mustang Delta. You're not going to take a Delta out racing. It's designed as a combat ship, whereas like
they let me have guns, I will.
But
party on, Wayne.
But like, for instance, like the Omega is so much faster than the Delta, and so you'd be stupid not to have an Omega versus a Delta when you're going to go racing. I think it'll be the same thing. We may even let me go way off into crazy town and say we might get a racing variant of the of the Cyclone where it's just like pure speed buggy.
The Nox is basically that. So, I mean, it hovers. It would be cool to have, all the speeders
variant of that, yeah.
Competitiveness, all have their strengths and weaknesses. And I really want to see land racing because racing rings is fun.
You could definitely turn a lot faster on a wheeled vehicle versus a hover one, because a hover one basically
will drift.
It has only, the air or, the thrusters to change direction, but a land vehicle will have all
technically you can change direction almost instantly in a hover vehicle. You're just not going to be going that direction.
Yeah. Okay, change direction. Oh, yeah. I would say change velocity. There we go.
The thing is, like, I've seen the sentiment that, like, the people want a dune buggy. I think, as far as CNG is concerned, in their head and kind of in my head, the Lynx and the Ursa are kind of filling the
dune buggy
role, and I think the Cyclone's going to be a little different than what people are expecting with that.
I don't think the Ursa does the dune buggy thing, because when I think dune buggy, I thinking
fast.
like a high revving engine with dust going, shooting off from the rear tires and just going berserk.
Like a frame. That's like just like a frame with two people, or maybe two people, like one person, just like kicking ass, like the buggy from PUBG. That's what I think of when I think of a dune buggy.
So the Ursa is more like an APC, more like an IFE actually, infantry fighting vehicle.
Or in Star Trek Insurrection, was it called the Argo?
Yeah.
Picard, Data, and Worf went in, and Worf was actually in the back manning the gun, so that was cool.
They should have put the android in the back because he's got laser precision.
I'm like super biased here because the past like 2 weeks I've been playing a fuckload of StarCraft 2, and there's a unit called the Cyclone that's like a little like mini turret thing going on, and so like say Cyclone to me, I'm just like. It has to have missiles. It has to have missiles. It's a Cyclone, and then you build it and you kill Protoss with it. That's how this works.
That's how this works.
Yeah.
Everything needs missiles, Dolvek.
Oh yeah.
You need to shoot everything with anything.
Hey, the one thing that we also haven't seen for a while is they keep hinting at a game changer ship, and I think one of the biggest things that even Sean Tracy pointed out is that if you're a ground, and this is something that's not just a thing in Star Citizen, because of how Star Citizen is being built, it's a thing that exists in real life, which is ground troops are very vulnerable to air attack, very vulnerable, unless they have some sort of screen or defense to be able to do that. And he pointed out that it's pretty easy for you to come into your Gladiator or Gladius or even an Aurora and strafe troops and just rip them apart because you're shooting essentially anti-ship cannons at them that'll go through armor like butter. So, like regular armor.
I'm sorry. Sean Tracy
can you say that again?
eBay during
like
work
butter.
time, so I don't really trust anything he says at this point.
But and they've talked about a lot about game changer ships and all these other sorts of things, and I think that's a major issue with ground-based combat, is that you need to have something that protects you from, not necessarily is OP versus ships, but something that can protect ground troops from air assault. And in 3.0, unless you're going to want people trolling you every time you get out of a ship on the moon, someone's just going to come back like, oh, haha, like you think pad killing is bad in like at Korea. Imagine like going down to the planet, getting out of your ship, and someone coming by and be like, lol, fuck your ship, and then flying away, and then now you're stuck on a moon forever.
That's why that shoulder-mounted railgun is going to need to fucking one-shot Auroras at least.
No, because then it would be abused.
No.
You have to balance it.
I feel like that thing right there is going to be the equivalent of like a slow firing size 1.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like it's not meant to kill per se. It's just meant to be like, if you're flying and you have your shield up, you can't stay here. Like you can't. If this guy is ducking around in in cover, You just can't hang out here and just stay floating and camp them. Like, that's what it's supposed to be.
You can't one-shot ships.
Balancing. I think there's like hours of conversation we could just have on balancing, but I don't think this is currently
not the time for balance.
It's not time for balance either. But there is some not necessarily balance, but there's some argument for in-game balance in the sense of building balance before you actually balance, like before you actually have to go through and like manage it. So something that is dedicated as an air-to-ground defense unit, which you could have with something like the Cyclone. The Cyclone could have, air-to-ground turrets that are size 2 or size 4 or whatever that, it won't necessarily kill an oncoming ship, but it'll, like, you come down in Aurora like, oh, I'm going to shoot this guy, and suddenly you open up with twin mantises on this thing coming down. It's going to think twice before attacking you again.
I do feel that if we don't get it with the Cyclone,
had the best idea ever, like those Titan suits. If they had siege mode, some guy just buries himself in the ground and just goes whales like AA into aircraft.
You were literally just describing Planet Side 2 right now.
Yeah.
The thing is, I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Citizen Side.
This thing's called that.
Side. Well, I mean, we're not too far away from it already.
Planet Citizen.
Planet Citizen.
Well, Paul, what you were saying a second ago is that, like, if the Cyclone is like a Doom buggy or something completely different than what I'm saying here, I am almost 100% sure that if this isn't what I'm saying it is, at some point down the road, we will be getting like some form of dedicated AA or some form of platform that you can construct or do move or drive or do whatever that is like a dedicated AA thing, because they really don't have anything like that right now. And it's a niche that does need filled with, now that we're going into base building stuff, now we're going into all this other crazy stuff that wasn't a concern a year ago, all right? And now there's other niches to fill.
I just had an epiphany, guys, by the way. So we have an Anvil Hurricane. The Cyclone is similar to Hurricane, so we can expect something Anvil, can we?
Yeah, it's more than likely it's Anvil. The name, and then if you look at the ships that we've been getting, we got an Apoa, we got a Drakes, we've got
we got a lot of Drakes.
What was the one before? We had Banu Defender. It's been a while since we've seen. We got Misk that we got with the Razor, but it's been a while since we got, because the last thing that they did was the Hurricane, and the Hurricane was like July or January.
Who makes the Ursa? Who makes the Ursa and the Lynx?
Ursa is RSI.
RSI.
Yeah. Ursa is RSI. Lynx maybe Anvil because you get it with the Carrack.
Okay. Or Origin because it also comes with the it doesn't just come with the Carrack, it also comes with the
or it could be someone completely new, just makes bespoke rovers.
Yeah. I would guess it's either going to be Anvil or some new
company,
new manufacturer. Yeah.
Because what is it? The Starfarer Gemini is made by Aegis or Aegis. Aegis, whatever they call it. What is the official way that they say that? Anyways,
it's Aegis.
In the Morotor, Rona Mitra says Aegis. And I will never forgive her.
Dude, Chris Roberts says it differently than the writers. So it's like there's no fucking. It's who cares?
They can't fucking Gian that shit either. Like, oh, there's different people who pronounce it differently because they're all right. No, correct pronunciation.
It's fucking Aegis, and it's fucking Idris.
I'm saying Agos until
Idris.
You can just be mad at me. I'm saying Agos from now on.
Agos. I will accept Agos before I will fucking accept Aegeus, because that doesn't even fucking follow the correct order of the letters in the word. God fucking damn it.
Aegis.
No, it's Aegis.
Adonis.
Because it's Greek. It's not Latin. It's Greek.
Yeah, so but I'm not Greek, so I can say how.
The word is Greek.
I gotta go have a rant like someone last week.
You're gonna go on a rant about Aegis? Is that with the bow tie?
Yeah. I'll go start punching puppies.
Also, it's Aquila, not Aquila, because it's Latin.
Oh, okay. Next tangent.
So I like the we talked a little bit about the freelancer crashes, and the one thing that I picked up this week, because this week it seems to be a lot about salvage, almost all about salvage and like wrecks and such. One of the things I picked up from the Bug Smashers was that we're going to be able to go to these wrecks, explore, find boxes which will be valuable, bring them back to our ships, and then return them back to like a station or a landing zone, and then actually exchange them for cash. So for me, that means that suddenly they have solved one of the major problems that I had, which is what are you going to do on planet side? And without NPCs, because we're probably not going to have NPCs wandering around in 3.0. More than likely 100% no.
And that's confirmed. We're not.
Yeah. No. More than likely 100% no.
Give me that phone.
He just found out that little bit of madness stole his phone. But
Shenanigans.
Call someone, ask them how to say Aegis.
Aegis.
Call Crystal. He's
Can you
Greek.
say Aegis for us, man?
Aegis was Apollo's shield.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's fucking Aegis.
I'm so sorry, guys.
It's Ugus.
I should have just let that one be.
No, it's Uggs. It's Uggs.
Uggs.
And it's only
Okay,
used by fucking
so
white girls.
20% of all the
What-
freelancers are going to have boxes in them that Paul can steal
Yes.
and get money for.
I wish, but that's the thing, is that like having stuff that you can take from them means that you now have you solve a little bit of the problem of what to do planet side, because now suddenly people can actually make money off of exploring,
And it's also good dynamic gameplay because you have a larger universe and now you have reasons to co-locate, right? You're fighting over, you're just like SBK, everyone go to SBK and get the booze. Same idea. You're going to be flying around Moon Uranus, and you're going to fly over and you're going to see it. And you're gonna say, I'm going to land there, and some other guy's going to be like, ooh, there must be something there because that guy's there. Let's go kill him.
Also, I have a question about these. Okay, you find a derelict, and you grab all these crates, and you put them in your Constellation's cargo hold. And then you do a less than stellar takeoff, and you crash.
Then
Do you create another derelict with lootable cargo, or you just go poof?
Your cargo gets dispersed. You just go poof, because the derelicts are only created by hand.
Yes,
tool.
so I think this is going to be like the second step. It would need to, if you crash a ship that can be derelictable. Is that a word? Derelictable? Anyway, yeah.
That's my new like super fancy restaurant, Derelictable.
Derelictable.
Sounds good. What kind of food would it serve?
It would have to create one of these derelicts for other people to explore while you create a new character.
Only temporary, though. I think, Darginator. If you're gonna, it's the same with the footsteps. If you're gonna make everything persistent, a server cannot pull that anymore. At some point,
That's
So
true.
you need to draw the line somewhere. I think.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Apparently, Will Maiden, because Will Maiden went on a big discussion after the happy hour, and went on Spectrum and answered more questions. And one of the things he said is he wants the shipwrecks to persist if it's possible, but they'll eventually despawn. So you could eventually go back and find your ship that's crashed and recover the salvage from it or whatever.
Maybe with a timer or something,
But how do you, so when you get a reclaimer there and you just munch up the ship, I think the wreck should disappear, and then a new one on another location should take its place.
Yeah, but there's a bit of an issue in terms of like don't want to say balance because that's not the right word, but gameplay breaking. Because one of the things you can do is you can easily go out and say, I'm going to go out to this one place where I know where it is. I'm going to hit the self-destruct button, blow my ship up. I get LTI, so I've got my ship back immediately. Then I'm going to take my reclaimer out, grab my wreck, mulch it, and then I get my ship salvage as well as my ship back. So
I think self-destruct should obliterate the ship, not make it a wreck, like completely vaporize.
Okay, so then Paul's solution to that is that another alt account would go blow up your ship for you and make a wreck.
Yeah, that's it.
So, I mean, no matter what.
Or
They actually
you
mentioned
just
something.
land badly.
They actually mentioned something
Weird
in
suspension.
ATV this past week.
very badly.
They mentioned like how they're working on something to determine legal ownership versus physical ownership.
Yeah.
And that's definitely going to play into that. So that's
Well, because they really have to like, and this is everyone jokes like, you know, the planetary landing or subsumption or AI or netcode is the important part. It's one of them. A really bad thing to think about is the exploit, right? And all games have some form of it. You got like multi-boxing and all that stuff, and whether it's an exploit or not is open to interpretation. But most definitely, LTI introduces a problem. Actually, insurance in general gives a potential problem.
Which is why there will be courts to investigate the possibility of insurance fraud.
Well,
Like if you're trying to do anything, you know, just take advantage of the system. There will be CIG employees who will take that into account and investigate and see if you have a legitimate case or not.
Sounds like a shit show.
yeah, it's
that
easier.
sounds like a fucking nightmare.
It's easier.
What do? I'm the insurance guy at CIG.
Yeah,
You know, just like
it's easier. The easier
Open
thing
up.
to do is if you blow your ship up or your ship goes kapooey and there's nobody around to see it, then it despawns.
Noobifire, can you imagine how much of a dickhead that guy would be? Like, can you
Well,
imagine how
you
much
would
of
be
a
salty.
shitty he would
You would
be?
be salty.
He
right?
would just be
so
angry
salty.
all the. You would
Like-
have to hire someone
Like,
who didn't know about Star Citizen.
Basically,
Sure, you blew up your javelin for the 4th time this week. Sure.
Yeah, no, you'd have to basically hire insurance
just imagining
adjusters.
a Better Call Saul in Star Citizen universe type thing.
Just a shit. You just have this a mean person. Just that's how it would have to go.
I wouldn't want the job.
Unless you have like the letter of the fucking like, unless you are to the T.
Because
on your
anyone
insurance
that you
policy.
denied the claim, they would get concierge involved and they would, you know, start bitching and you just never hear the end of it. You must say, fuck it. Here's your javelin. Shut up.
Then you get flagging in accounts. By the way, Paul, I just noticed this. Yeah, has my name been like this since the beginning?
Solidarity report.
Solidarity report.
Oh, sorry. Solidarity report.
No, it's alright, man. It's right. It's alright. It seems to be an American thing, though. I don't want to generalize here, but all the Americans say solidarity report. I like it.
Yeah, because it's correct.
But
But it's
solitary is
solitary.
something different.
Solitary
It's a completely different meaning.
yeah.
One's means
It's alright.
alone,
There you go.
and the other means whatever the
Aegis.
fuck it means.
It means
I'm,
alone.
I'm,
it just
I'm too
means,
alcoholed up to remember.
It means like more stern alone. Like I in
Yeah.
solidarity with everybody. Like I feel
Solidarity.
feel shit.
I'm very solidary with everyone, man.
No. I will actually double up on the bet we have if you actually rename him to Solitaire Report.
Oh shit!
What's
people.
the bet? Is the bet an HCS voice pack?
Well,
No,
that's
it's-
because we're
it's-
actually going to be giving away an HGSCS voice pack because Noobfire gets that is a good transition
Yeah.
for that. Which
I like
I was
that.
going to be doing. in a
I'm
bit.
interrupting. I'm
It's
interrupting.
actually a
Don't
bottle of
interrupting with
scotch.
critical information. Apparently, a little while ago, Disco on Spectrum clarified there is a difference between Cyclone and Tumbril.
There is.
So they are not.
the
They are
same.
separate. They're separate.
Okay, so Paul, you want 2 bottles? Rename him to Solitaire Report.
Solitaire Report,
Yeah.
That's a great game.
best game of all time.
Originator, Gambe.
Alrighty, so let me do this. Start. There we go.
Nice.
So, Noobifire is gracefully offering to give away an HGS voice pack for anybody. If you guys want to enter, please hit !table in chat. and
Ladies'
then choose
choice.
this. Your choice if you already have one, if you want to get another one. This is HGS voice pack and a voice attack profile, both.
Yep.
So if you guys haven't heard of these are fantastic tools to use for Star Citizen. And as we get more complex controls, the more these voice packs are going to start becoming more and more effective. If you ever used them for Elite Dangerous, they do a fantastic job in Elite Dangerous, and they've been doing a lot of work for Star Citizen as well, translating a lot of these Elite packs into Star Citizen, as well as building new packs for Star Citizen Solo. So
They made profiles for No Man's Sky too.
they did.
Yeah.
Does it only say you have brought the wrong game?
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made.
There is no multiplayer.
Yeah. And what's that one of the Mech Warrior?
Mech Warrior.
Yeah.
Mech Warrior
There's
Online.
some profiles for that too.
Cool.
Imagine William Shatner talking to you in your mech.
Mech Warrior doesn't actually have any mechs. It's not the one with the mechs.
Even though it's Mech Warrior. Yeah.
Wek Warrior? What?
Mech Warrior.
I like this game.
Yes.
Wek Warrior.
Okay, sorry, bad transition.
It's all right. So the I'm trying to think of one. I mean, I do like the philosophy. Like I see the video that they did with Lost and Found as a philosophy of salvage in the universe. Which, as a lore guy, I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. Like, how do they push the salvage jobs? You know, is it, oh, I'm just here to make money, or is it like, hey, there's a story to be found? Because a lot of people enjoy exploration, and I think salvage, to a degree, is its own little exploration game. Or mechanic, because in many ways what you're doing as a salvager is you're finding the story of a ship that has crashed or has been destroyed somehow. So piecing together, it's almost like you're almost like an investigator. You can piece together how that ship got to that point.
Yeah, it's like the Darnell mission. You could technically actually find it and go find information on it and get the backstory, like you're saying.
Yeah, and
So
I think
it's something. Sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
I say, and that's in many ways there are games like Skyrim and the Fallout series. Bethesda does it very well, but you also kind of have it in WoW and other MMOs where part of the fun of a mission, of a quest, most people just fuck it, I'm just doing the quest, kill 50 rabbits, come back. But like if you understand the lore behind it, you can understand the mission chain a little bit better in terms of like what's going on in the universe. And some games do it much better.
What would be the lore exploration behind killing 50 rabbits?
There's
Rabbits in station.
there are
Rabbits
rats
in space.
Rats in the station. Go kill them. We need someone.
A carrot shortage.
Yeah.
Rad roaches.
Rad roaches.
Go
yes.
kill the rad
Go kill
roaches.
the rad roaches.
The pistol.
It's something that I was wondering, guys. Yeah, so we just talked about the whole insurance thing and the salvaging. Do you think we'll get some sort of a setup where we can only salvage things that CIG, let's call it CIG, that the game spawns, or are we going to because that would clear out the whole problem with people blowing up their own ships. It's so similar, and I'm a really stupid example. Black Desert Online, you can fish, but the fishing spots turn up on certain places. If we have a similar system for these wrecks, they just turn up in random places everywhere. Then you clear out the whole problem with the LTI, because nobody's going to blow up their ship, basically.
Well, yeah. If that's the case, is that like someone blows up your ship and then they stay there and you come back with your reclaimer to salvage it. It could be that once you've blown it up, it becomes a mystery wreck. You can't get there. Or when you jump in with your friend can see the wreck and you can't. But that would also, you'd also see people bitching like, hey, I went back to my wreck and I couldn't find my gear. But that could also
thanks,
be an
persistence.
explanation. It could also be just like, hey, no one can find their own wrecks. It's the you can't loot your own corpse rule in many.
You can't
many
do that though,
survival
because
games.
even in Warcraft, when you die, like I've never played it, but when you die, doesn't your gear stay there?
Yeah.
What game does that? Someone has to camp your gear and give you enough time to come back and pick up your stuff.
No. There's no stealing of gear in WoW. When you die,
Diablo?
All your stuff
game?
stays on. You're
DayZ.
thinking about EverQuest. You're thinking about EverQuest. No,
Oh, EverQuest. Yeah.
Ark?
EverQuest 1.
Ark
I
does
thought that even Diablo 3, didn't you? When you die,
No. When you die, all your stuff stays on you. There is hardcore mode, which would just kill your character afterwards.
So I guess what I'm saying is, if you blow up your ship,
There's also ultra hardcore mode where when you die, it just uninstalls the game.
Your GPU just overheats.
Yeah, it overclocks your CPU to like 400.
So Ark had it, DayZ had it, Miscreated has it. A lot of the survival games have that, where if you die, all your shit's on your corpse, and you have to run back and get your corpse. Hellion has it, but to a degree, there's also another thing that exists, which is in many of those servers, especially RP servers, they have the rules of no corpse looting, no self corpse looting. So you can't run back to your corpse and loot your corpse. It's against the rules. Now, I could easily see that be made as a mechanic, where it's like your ship's blown up.
But how do you explain it in lore?
Ship drifts.
No, it's not even that, because then, so there's two ways of looking at it. That you blow up your ship, and anything that wasn't insured, you could go back and pick up. And if you're able to do that, congratulations. That's the cookie, right?
Yeah.
So then you blow up and you call a friend on Spectrum or something. You say, can you please go to grid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Right.
My ship is there. I need you to go get the stuff because it's going to take me too long and it won't be there. Again, risk reward. You know, your beacon goes up. There's a ship. Now other people are going to try to come to that location and loot it, but your org is able to get there first and secure your stuff. So the penalty of death is reduced because you're able to achieve that mission.
Which, I mean, that feels shitty, right?
Yeah,
It feels like you're gaming the system. But if you actually think about it, it's like, isn't that somewhat fair in a way? Where it's just like, hey, you died, but if you know people, you've worked to make connections, and you can get this executed quickly, you are rewarded by a lesser penalty.
The problem is
how would
the problem is
how would your next of kin know exactly where you died?
Space
Well,
magic.
you may not be dead.
yeah.
Like you may have just been incapacitated by one of your 10 lives, right?
Yeah.
Right, but the thing, okay, but that is explained in lore that your escape pod or whatever is found and rescued and taken.
Beacon.
So wouldn't that mean that
Beacon,
the
yeah.
people who rescued you would know where it is?
You get blown up and you punch out with a beacon.
The only
The
problem
pirates can find a beacon too. You know what I mean? So, et cetera, which is why you need a team, which is why we don't solo boat javelins and all the other negative things that are wrong.
Right. So the only way for you to actually be able to get back your ship is if you were in a group of people who were there when you blew up. If you lost your ship when you were alone, I think it should be completely lost.
Gone. Right.
Yeah, gone completely. Yeah.
Or your hull will blow up. Only your hull, because the weapons are probably not insured with your hull. So your hull could be completely gone, but you can go and retrieve your weapons or your extra power core, your extra things that you put on it.
But maybe not all of it,
Knew
just
where it was.
Parts, yeah.
Select. Let's say
Here's
5
the thing.
guns.
Here's the thing. Space is fucking big, right?
And things do this in space.
Yeah, things go whoop. So it's like you might be able to get back all your gold bricks, but you might not just be able to just roll a freelancer over there and do it. You might need something with some good scanning tools on it. You might you might need to put the effort into it, which I'd be okay with.
Here's my problem, and I'm gonna inject a bit of problematic here. I have a friend who comes up. I have an LTI. So right now I've got an LTI.
You know a guy.
Max.
You know a guy.
I know a guy. I go out. I eject from my
cousin. He makes you
ship,
special price.
and I have a guy who has a friend. The guy, I get out of this freelancer. The guy blows up my freelancer. I go in his friend's Vanguard. We go back to the station. He gets his reclaimer, or he even has a reclaimer. He reclaims the salvage from all the stuff. I take all my stuff that I had all the cargo that I had and weapons and stuff like that. Now I go back to my station. He's able to sell my salvage for my ship. I get a cut of that salvage.
No,
and I still be able to. But that's the thing is that
there has to be a loss. You cannot ever have economy of energy. Like, you can't blow something up and have it worth equal or more too.
No,
right?
But the thing is that I've got an LTI. So if I remove,
but it's going to take you a week to get your ship back, and it's going to come with no guns.
It's not going to be outfitted, so essentially it's like
you will always
gotta hope.
Always lose.
The basic bitch that ever was to basic.
And what I would like to think is that the amount of time and effort it takes for you to execute Operation Slippery Weasel, we'll call it, that you could have gone out and just moved cargo from point A to point B and made more. Right? You could have just don't bother doing the stupid.
Congratulations, you got 5,000 UEC, and it took
stat
you
padding, right?
70 hours.
Yeah, but dropping the deuce, you could still that issue is he could already been wanted, and then I just go to a place where I can get the salvage for more and make more money. You know, even if it's stolen salvage, who cares?
I'm just thinking it's easy to neutralize that by making the payout not worth it, so that even if someone were doing that, I wouldn't give a shit personally, because I'm loaded running cargo and he's over there blowing up his ship with his friend and not enjoying the game, right? So that, to me, I think that's one way of neutralizing that stupidity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because you actually did bring up a good point. It's like the difference between people who want to play the game and people who want to exploit
Waste.
the game.
Again,
Waste time.
Waste
Yeah.
time.
It's just like you might as well go play My Little Pony World, or you might as well go outside and wash your car or something, because that's a better game.
Aye.
The
got more
outside.
done with that.
The outside. Yeah, outside.
the
Better
It
games
doesn't- it
confirmed.
doesn't have as nice graphics though.
What is
Oh.
outside?
So
Never
The
been there.
alternate.
no, I can see that as a solution. It's just time. Like, yeah, congratulations. Now you have to wait
Right.
48 hours or whatever to get your freelancer. Now that's going to piss some people off because you die in your freelancer and you're done. You died. They go, oh, it's going to take 24 hours for your freelancer to come back. People may just
But
be
it's
like,
a
I'm
good
done.
incentive.
Then go be
against
crew on
people who
someone
just
else's
wanna-
ship.
Yeah.
Like while you're waiting, go
Pick it up when
enjoy
you
the
make it,
game. Do something different. Like again, this is the
It's
great thing
good
about that
incentive
game.
against exploiting
Dying.
the systems of the game.
It's also good incentive against get good, right? You have to don't die.
Alrighty. Was there anything else you guys talked that you guys saw this week that you were interested in talking about?
No, nothing happened this week.
Nothing
really.
happened this week.
I
We
like the
covered a
Bug
lot of the
Smashers.
talk.
I
We're
Yeah.
talking
love
about
the Bug
dicks again
Smashers
because that's
episode.
where we're at with this podcast. Now. We have like 30 to 40 minutes of podcast, and then we just go into dongs.
We actually had
Yeah,
we've had a full hour of actual good discussion. So I'm proud of you guys. I'm
I
proud
love
of
it.
But
No,
Papa Doldak
no
has not
meltdown.
mentioned Banu
We
Seaman once.
fucking need to degenerate into penis talk now.
So speaking of penises, you can see mine from space. So let's talk about that.
Is that the 3 or 4
That's
pixels
it.
that are like?
That's
It's
it.
only
That's
3 or 4
the one.
pixels. It's only 3 or 4 pixels.
Yeah,
No, it's very tiny.
you can see it from orbit though.
So, what do you guys think that is? I honestly think it's a javelin. Like that's probably like they showed it
The
off.
thing
in-
is, he
Oh, we're
said
talking about
they
real things now.
made.
Yeah.
Good.
He said they made 4 derelicts, but in the actual video, I counted 5.
Yeah, yeah. So, and he's like, and we don't
Freelancer,
know. We don't know if
Caterpillar,
that. We don't know if that like
Constellation.
includes.
what else?
We don't know.
Cutlass,
We don't,
Starfarer.
Cutlass, yeah.
Cutlass and
And a Starfarer.
and a Starfarer. And they
So
also showed off
we
a
don't
javelin
know.
rack.
And showed
Yeah.
the javelin.
And so we don't know. We don't know if
6.
that includes. We don't know if the 4 includes the secret mystery one, or if it doesn't include the secret mystery one, or if they just
But
don't know
I
what
don't
the
think-
fuck
I
they're
don't think they
talking about.
Actually made
I think it wasn't
made
Argo
to
Cargo.
Bengal. Although in the Reclaimer Alien homage video, they showed off a derelict.
Yeah, this is what
Driller.
we're talking about. It's the driller. Yeah,
Driller.
it has those ribs on the
So-
side. This was like a solid month ago when Alien Covenant was coming out. They released this video at the end of ATV, which is a whole bunch of people landing in a claimer
Yeah, that's what I meant. yeah.
salvage, and then there's this big storm going on, and they walk into a derelict something Vandal ship.
With ribs.
Yeah,
It was a driller.
it's a driller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really. Now, did anyone catch that thing about the guy that again, mistakes happen. The guy who was talking about the caterpillar.
15
said that
modules.
He could, he could just like he could go crazy. But if you read the Q&A, everyone knows this already. The Q&A
Yeah.
specifically says 4
And
plus
la-
a front.
Disco confirmed.
Yeah, it was confirmed. I just
it's
in case
5.
anyone watching here, well, no, because it's 4 plus a front.
That's the 5. The 5th
Four
one.
plus the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it could be 15 different modules. But
Yes, that's probably what he
Yeah.
meant to say.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
15 Tubuku
15
Giant
like-
space dog.
Space
Dog
dog.
over freelancer. You're no longer
Speaking
a
of
space
penis.
back onto penises.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you imagine though if you were able, because technically each module has 8 thrusters on it, so it would be a dog. It would be a total pig to fly.
Yeah.
But it would be like imagine you're flying along, you're like,
So
what
it
the
would,
fuck
it would,
is
it
that?
would bend. It would bend as you fly. Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. And you imagine getting
you want to
from the-
move up, you want to tilt upwards, you just slowly
Nah.
come erect up.
I need something out of module 15. You're like, fuck my life.
Yeah.
You know, like doors.
Doors,
Get the
doors.
great-
You
grab
must
the-
just
the
get
great
out, fly around, and then go in the other side because it's just too long to walk. Spaceballs
Make a train
at the
track.
beginning. Remember the president's running
Yeah.
down the ship?
yeah.
Sorry, tangent.
I agree. That is one thing to say. I actually made a post on Reddit after I said that the 15 module was confirmed as a joke because we all know it's not. But it's not a 15 module caterpillar. It's not going to happen. There could be 15 different
there's a
modules.
lot of look. CIG does this. CIG does this all the time.
Yeah,
and sometimes they'd slip up and say some shit, and the community's like, "What the fuck?" And other times, like
hyperbole.
They purposefully say some shit.
Yeah,
and the community's like, "The fuck?" It's like this happened with like Board Gamer ended up at like Foundry 42 a while back, or Manchester rather. And he did an interview with Aaron Roberts, and Aaron Roberts like, "Oh yeah, we're doing base building," and people were like, "Thanks, you could fucking let us know that, Aaron." Just slip that in there. It just they do that shit all the time, where it's just like it'll be like a totally innocuous conversation, and then some majestic detail is just in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. You pull it out, you're like, "What the fuck is this? Elaborate!" Like you just say some shit and then move on.
So yes, there is not a 15 module caterpillar. There may be 15 different modules for the caterpillar, but it's
what would you guys want to see?
Variety.
Yeah.
Which the guy was. Actually,
and again, I'm going to say this.
Explain.
I've said this for all time. I want them to have a bar module for the caterpillar, even if it's completely.
I think strip club.
Yeah.
The ship shapes.
You want a Starfarer that brews alcohol instead of
beer fair. Grey-Headed Gamers already got that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you've basically there was like 8 that they were working on. So there's like an armories, a place, a barracks for people to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that's like a loadout room next to the armories. Then there's the medical. There's a salvage. There's storefront. There's basic cargo. Mm-hmm. And then they were talking about the docking one, which had 4, but that's probably shit the bed because docking color unconfirmed. And then we get into the future because remember that ship shape, there was just like craziness. There was just modules everywhere, and they showed us those ones. I can see them making a distinction between a recovery room, operating theater, and first aid kind of levels of things, just like the
triage, like a triage room, a emergency
like
room,
the Endeavor
and a surgery bay.
Right, the Endeavor specialized at biometrics. Let's say that's the only place that you can get it. But a Caterpillar with this module may do TCCC, so your life saving to get you to the different location, like stabilize. Whereas the Cutlass Red will patch you up. So I like that level of tier because that gives everyone a reason to play.
It's just more options. It's just more options. And more options is always good.
Yeah, and then salvage. Sorry, just one other thing. Remember the asymmetrical design, the little window tractor beam?
Yeah,
right? So the open
right
tractor comes in. So I mean, I have that ship. I really want it to be everything that it's supposed to be, but I will melt it in a heartbeat for something better.
Right.
I had the Caterpillar.
If Aegis makes a Carrack variant, I shall melt my Envil Carrack.
I don't think we're ever going to get Carrack variant because the Carrack has those modular things on the bottom.
But also we're never going to get a variant from Aegis because Aegis is a military ship only.
Yeah, but the thing is that Aegis is not a. I can't fucking. I'm just gonna call it.
If Aegis fucking can't even Aegis.
You're doing good, Paul.
Aegis.
I just don't know what
Kramer, recalibrator.
Whatever the fuck it is, I don't like. I really actually don't like that line of ships, anyways, because I think it's a pander to space planes. But we're not gonna.
I want my Firefly.
We're not gonna see.
Fuck you, bud.
We're not gonna see much variants beyond military ships from them, and even if we do have a non-military ships, I don't think we're going to see many more of those ships being made. Period, because there's like 20 Aegis ships right now, like 20 or 30.
And they said specifically they're going to work on.
If you think about like what the Carrack would do in a role, right? Like if you think about it for a while, it's like, well, why wouldn't you just have a Polaris at that point? Like if you're going to have something that big for that big military operation. Just go get a fucking
Independence.
Polaris. Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's not just fulfilling a role. It's independence from bases, like long missions.
Yeah, but and there's a lot of stuff to go into that in terms of balance and stuff like that for long missions, for the elongated missions, for the very very firm long missions. But before we get to that,
missions.
any of that kind of stuff, we're going.
That's what they call it these days. The kids, they go up. You know, they just
the raffle
back of the car. You know, you take it to a movie, take it to dinner.
Dovek, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Long mission.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
All right, so we're gonna do the victor for this raffle, or the winner for the raffle right now. So if you're here, make sure you say something in chat. If you win, you have to be here to win though. So
That would help.
yeah.
Can we exclude Album from this because he wins everything?
And everyone has to go follow Darge.
HB4R0N, congratulations, you've won. Make sure you say something in chat and then send Nubifire a message. But you have to say something in chat first, that way we know you're here.
I don't like that.
It would be helpful if you weren't a
It
bot.
can be pronounced as a word.
It would be really
Say,
awesome if you weren't a bot.
Say not bot in chat. Not bot. Not bot. Not
Or
bot.
say anything
bot.
at this
Not
point.
bot.
Cheers.
Not bot.
What was the timeout?
Say
4
long
minutes,
mission.
like Meyer does?
What?
How long does he have?
He has
Oh.
a minute. He has a minute.
A minute.
And if you don't, then I'm just going to give it to Darge. Because he wanted one anyways.
I already have one.
I know, right?
All right, so we're actually gonna have to redraw here. But anyways, we also have there we go. I'm gonna reroll. Calandros, congratulations. Calandros is a longtime supporter of the stream.
Nice.
Uh,
Message me.
there we go.
And he responds.
And he responded. Message the noobs.
I need an email address and I need to know which voice pack you would
want.
like.
Yeah.
Go to hcs.com, the one that sells voice packs, not the other one, and go look at which ones are there.
Which one is that
and
one?
let me know.
That's not it.
hcsvoicepacks.com. That's what I'm
HCS
saying.
voice packs? Okay.
Whatever. Everyone knows how to internet. It's all good. We don't have to hold hands here. We're not all special
There you go.
snowflakes.
So
I,
You can
That
listen to the
being-
Nubifire all day if you want.
that being said, we're now going to go into the cute question and answering session of the chat. So
oh, I like this.
So
part.
if you have a question, exclamation point question, exclamation point question mark, exclamation point questions, we will answer almost any question. There are some questions I won't answer because they're not worth it. But however, if you ask a dumb question, which you can, because there are such things as
there
dumb
are
questions.
no stupid
Look,
questions. They're
don't listen to
only
Paul.
Please don't
No,
ask
no, no, no.
stupid
You.
questions
Hey.
because
You're worth it.
someone will
There
read.
are no
You're
stupid
worth it.
questions. There
From
are
the
only
Bible.
inquisitive idiots.
I want nobody asking about my age, by the way.
Ask about his
Oh, yeah.
age. Everyone
He's
ask about his
12.
age. Yeah.
75.
You know, it was
Um,
my birthday today, yeah.
But we will answer dumb questions, but we're gonna make fun of you for asking dumb questions, and we're
Or
gonna
kick you.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you'll just get kicked. You just get banned like for the rest of the session. Just you're dumb. Done. We are
Did we
also
actually
none of us
mention?
none of us are CIG employees. However, Dovak pretends to be one on the weekends.
I
And
don't stop. You're spreading misinformation again. Like
pretends
this
to be
is
one
evolved
every
from like
day
a
of the
meme.
week.
This has been a joke, and now it's just misinformation.
misinformation.
It's evolved.
It's evolved to being misinformation. I'm still going to say it.
It was a joke, and now it's just lying to people.
But if you want to ask official CIG questions, we'll answer official CIG questions that'll be completely wrong and you'll have no context. But feel free to run off to the forums or to Spectrum or to the Reddit and say, "Oh, I heard it confirmed by CIG Darge or CIG Solitary."
Darge
know,
underscore CIG.
CIG.
That's my nickname on.
Yeah.
Look,
channel.
I'm just gonna come clean. Look, I know
Here we go.
there's been a body double for a long time, but time to come clean. I am Sandy Gardner. It's me.
Woo!
right here.
Yeah.
Can I just say
The
I
word
love
Darth.
your new voice acting in the Lost and Found video.
Oh, thank you, Darth. That's real nice.
So
So
bad.
let's go talk about penises again. Let's just move this forward.
All right, so
So Chris Harbert's penis.
we're gonna ask questions or answer questions in the
like-
chat.
That's what they're talking about. That's the derelict.
That's the derelict you can see from space. Next, the first question comes from Human Evil. So, what's your opinions on the claim we will get around 10 systems on launch?
Sounds about right. Honestly.
Claim
don't
from
know.
fucking whom? It's all rumors at this point.
No. That was in the GameStar thing, I think.
Okay.
Launch of what, those?
Apparently,
Launch of-
from someone's mouth, it was like they're aiming for around 10ish at launch, and then that means like past beta, past alpha, like full.
So
release.
actually gold release.
Yeah, for gold
Yeah.
release. So, I mean,
honestly,
it's-
that sounds about
that
right.
sounds reasonable. I think there's going to be a lot of people who will be really angry because they said 100 plus systems on launch, and
Yeah.
then they're
Who
not.
cares?
I mean, there's a lot of there are some people who
this
want to
point,
be they want to be butthurt for the sake of being butthurt, and it also doesn't necessarily look good on as in a PR sense. But you know, if we get 10 systems when they launch, we all know that they're going to be releasing more systems as they go. Anyways, it's not the
Well, if you have 10 working systems,
I
who
would,
cares what we
I
got?
would accept.
No, I know, I understand.
I would accept 10 systems if others would be player discoverable.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see it, like the play discoverable, and then like having a that would put like a good push on the exploration, and then like as long as we have like a decent timetable for those things, like hey, you're gonna get like one every 2 months from like here for a while now, you know.
No, I like the idea that the universe just expands. You go to the edge of the universe, and then there's more stuff to find.
Right.
Right,
Because
and
we
it's
don't
whatever
know
was on the map.
what all we don't. Well, but then again, we have the star map that contains all these 100 systems.
Yeah.
But then we also don't know what area of the galaxy these 100 systems represent. Is it just like the neighboring 100 systems? Is
Well,
it
that
100
doesn't really
systems
matter
spanning
because
the
how the
entire
work that doesn't really
galaxy?
work how the work because like how I always assumed it was that like at the star systems they were warping to with wormhole with the jump points, they would just take you fucking anywhere, and it wasn't
Exactly.
like yeah.
I mean, it could even be in another galaxy for what we know.
And
Because
this is also like 10 is how many years from now? I'm not trying to sound like a dick here.
Yeah.
But are we worrying about some random arbitrary number about something that's in 2018? It could be 30. It could be,
Yeah.
you know?
If they say we're launching in 2018 and we're getting 10 systems in 2018, but we're officially
We're
launching
launching
it then,
in 2020 with 2 systems.
you know,
100
through
systems in 2024.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, like-
the answer is that I think to a degree everyone, including press and people who are very critical of CIG, have said that the game sounds impressive, and if they even manage to get 80% of what they promise in terms of game features, it would be one of the best games ever made.
Exactly.
And then you can iterate on that.
Yeah, and the answer is
That'll
that
work.
systems themselves, or people who would complain about the mass numbers of systems, don't understand how systems work. Like Stanton alone is going to be a huge time suck. It's going to take you hours to do any kind of mission chain, like full mission chains in Stanton. Like,
Right.
just doing the mission chains for someone like Miles Eckhart is probably going to take you 10, 20 hours just to do his mission
Right.
chains because of
Right.
the travel time and all these other things.
As
Right,
long as
and
it's
you-
10 and
if you
more.
if you look at it, The Expanse, the TV show, I mean, they were able to make 2 seasons out of 2 planets and an asteroid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare it
there
to
is
much with
so
Hellion,
much
but-
content that can
No,
be.
two a moon,
Oh.
an asteroid, and 2 planets is all it was.
Fleshed
And-
out.
Yeah.
No,
How many
planets?
planets have we got in Hellion, Paul? It's like 4.
There's more than that, but you can't land on them.
But no, but it's really small. So, and
Yeah.
how long are you busy doing something in Hellion? You know, and I don't want to compare it. It's a complete different game, but just for the sake of,
Yeah, there's a lot of
the
content.
amount of systems.
You can't. It would
It's a
take
lot of content.
It would take hours to go through all of the different planets in Hellion. you know?
Exactly.
Honestly-
It's a system.
Yeah.
When it comes down to like the 10 is a very arbitrary number, right? But like you know, like 142 is going to be done at some point,
Mhm.
and they're going to have a bunch of teams coming off that onto PU stuff. So like they're going to be like, look how fucking fast we're getting ships these days, right?
Mhm.
Like back in the day, like 2
Thank you,
years ago,
542.
you would hear about a ship, and then like that ship would be like, yeah, you'll see that in like 74 years. And
Yeah.
like the concept, like you'll see that in like 10 years, sucker. Hopefully you don't die.
Yeah.
And then just fuck off. And these days it's like, hey, we have a ship, and you'll see it in like 6 months.
Yeah. Like
Um,
Nox went from concepts to release in like a less than a week. I mean, it was
Yeah.
already ready to go when they sold it.
Announced concept, yeah, but we saw snippets of it and hints in ATVs several weeks prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Saber was the only other one that was that fast.
Mhm.
Because remember, the Saber was like at Christmas, it was like, here's the Saber concept, and by the way, the next, it'll be
flyable
ready.
in February. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a West.
Um,
You know.
And it was awesome because they just reused the Gladius.
We've gotten a lot of those.
mechanics.
We've gotten a lot of those. So when it comes down
Now,
to that
yeah.
arbitrary number of 10, just
10,
like
whatever.
What does that even mean? Because like some systems are like barren rocks, and others are like these lush tropical. So like they differ dramatically. So to say like, oh yeah, one system takes like this X amount of man hours is like completely, it's they're uncomparable, really. At that point, you're literally comparing art to other art, and it's just like, how long will this art take versus this other art? It's like
They
two
just
different. They're different. They're different
the
things.
big thing is and then, like with all things with CIG, I have no problem with their technical abilities and what they're doing, you know, in terms of building. It has to do with their communication and finding out that they're only shooting for 10
Communication has been
systems.
getting a lot better lately.
It has been, but finding out that they're planning on only doing 10 systems in a German article because they figured it'll take a while for people to translate the article, and if that's even if that's official or
It took
whatever.
15 minutes.
But I mean, you know what I mean. Like it'll take.
We got Toby.
But you know, people don't necessarily.
Toby.
People will say, "Oh, is that a right translation? Is that?" Because we've had that before, where someone's translated a GameStar article and they mistranslated it and turned into a huge shitstorm. That was actually like, no, that's not what they said.
Maybe you should release important information through your actual fucking channels for once.
Nah, they have
CIG?
to. I agree. They actually have to court some press.
I completely agree. Marketing is very important,
Exclusives,
but you
Yes.
need to like.
merit like
Okay.
so they have so much weight on them.
Yeah.
Still,
So the solution
Like,
for
but
that
then, like,
is
down the
the
road, they
article comes out,
start
and
parroting that stuff, and sometimes they don't.
the article comes out in German, and CIG releases it word for word in English.
Yeah.
Their translation, their words. This is what we said, not
that would be easier.
Google
They-
Babelfish or
Yeah,
something.
I've been saying that for a long time, and like there's so much like weird concept art all over the fucking place that
Yeah.
they need to have like a specific drop zone on their website for like
They
art and
do.
screenshots that they're releasing, and, like official things. And some things are on devs Twitters and like other people's Twitters that aren't on the official Twitter. And like you gotta be so fucking in it to like get everything right that it's hard. It's legitimately hard. And just how they disseminate information is kind of weird sometimes, because they kind of like they kind of forget that not everyone knows exactly what's going on because we don't work for them. I think.
The next question. I think we'll move on. I think we've hit this to
Anyway,
done stuff.
the point is like I think 10 is a fine number. I never got here. 10 is a fine number.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be any lower than that though.
with the promise of
the
new
problem
in the
is
future.
ever since was it Turbulent or whoever
Behavior.
left behavior just split off or left, they lost a lot of people who were tasked with populating
They built a whole new team
the
for it.
systems and planets.
Yeah, there's a whole new team that are replacing those people.
It is. There is.
Yeah.
It just
but
takes it takes them
it
time
takes
to get
time.
for them to get
Yeah.
introduced. But
Once their tools are done,
Yeah.
I don't think it won't be a monumental task. The monumental task is building the tools to make the planets.
Yes.
Making the code work.
I
So
I
I'm
still
not
think
worried.
we're gonna get systems in maybe 3 months, every 3 months, a system every
Yeah.
3 months or so.
Well, systems plural is coming 4.0.
Yes, but the thing
He meant in
is,
the future.
yeah, I meant like when the pipeline is finally done, we'll probably see a system done in 3 months once they have all the tools ready. Still, that means that it's going to take to get 100 systems. It's going to take something like 10 years for them to get to that point because it takes a long time. That at a certain point, like the amount of details that they're looking at, plus the amount of systems they're wanting to do, it's just not possible. It's not feasible, physically feasible, unless you had the biggest production team of all time, which they're goddamn close to.
Well, I mean, the point is, like, if you go look at like fucking Ubisoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft is like so fucking big. Yeah, when they put out like an Assassin's Creed game, you ever look at the fucking credits for an Assassin's Creed game? There's like 2,000 fucking people working on that game, because near the end they start pulling. Like, it's a small team that's made. There's like a core team, and then by the end of it, they're pulling like, "Hey, we got like 7 different studios in like 7 different countries, and we're gonna pull."
And they still fucking make the same fucking game every time. Capture the tower to gain more insight into the world, and then go fucking catch another tower.
Can you imagine how fucking pissed you'd be if you land on a Star System planet, you open your Mubby Glass map, and there's just like
towers you have to find.
You need to go climb this tower.
Oh, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Anyways,
Dolvac, I will fist your mother.
I mean,
and Nubifire's gone. Bye, Brian.
Oh, that's Fanta coming out of my nose.
Alrighty, so moving on to the next question.
Can we not fist anyone's mom?
Please, on stream.
Look,
Please.
That's a hard ask. So
No, it's not. It's really not.
The next question
Play
comes
nice.
from Human Evil. He says, in the
Maybe
demo,
some mothers are into it.
in the demo, the German mag played. They got 30 FPS. Do you think we'll get similar FPS when it goes live? No.
fuck no.
We're gonna get lower than that.
Depends on the
We're gonna
fucking
get lower
server.
than that. We're gonna get
Do you-
probably gonna get
do
15
people
FPS.
remember
2.0?
2.0?
Yeah.
The original 2.0 PTUs. You will have sub 5 FPS.
Yeah.
And crashes every 30 seconds for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
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 And that's okay. It's normal.
2.4.9 Q or whatever the fuck it was. I got 90 FPS all day long.
And
then they patched it.
Like that. We're like, oh shit, something's wrong with this thing because it's
something's
like,
wrong
it's
with it.
running way too well.
I remember a PTU. There was a PTU where they actually had a PTU, and they turned on the dev tools for observing, and suddenly the FPS spiked, and they were like, "Why the fuck is our FPS going up when we have our dev tools activated?" Like, it didn't make no sense to them. They had like research.
Because there was one person per server. That's why.
Yeah, probably.
So even on Bug Smasher, to keep this on topic, no
Yeah.
fisting.
It's a
even
hard
during
ask, man.
even during Bug Smasher, when Mark was fucking around in the box,
Fisting around.
14, 15 frames per second in the top right
Yeah,
hand corner.
but
It
he's
props
got
up.
the server
Oh, yeah.
and several clients open
Yeah.
and the editor and the coding
get it.
with
I
the Visual
get it.
Basic kit and
I
everything.
wasn't-
I think
what
the
I was
max.
gonna say is
Go
funny
ahead.
is that the guys on Reddit exploded all over it because they're like, "See, I told you it's a piece of shit," and it's valid. But again, it's not. You don't know how much load. He may have 6 Skypes running in the background. Lord knows. Maybe we should get in Threadripper.
No, he,
The thing
he
is, like-
has,
like,
he has
judging-
his own personal server and several clients running.
So it's not a good
at the
indication
point.
of what we're getting. Is what I'm saying.
Judging friggin' like client performance from like an editor is like the
No,
worst
not
idea
possible.
possible.
That's what I. That's
like,
what I was saying.
Because
Like, hey,
editors
hi,
could also be
hi,
very
what's
high.
going on? I'm Dolvac. I work in the game industry. Hello, how's it going? Like,
Hi.
you know what Unity is? Unity is like the most lightweight fucking engine in the universe. That shit is so compact, and it's great because it's really expandable. You can expand upon it a lot, but just the core Unity is like super stripped down, lightweight, and that's why I honestly really like it that way. But if you open like the fucking Unity editor and start placing shit, you will be like sub 10 FPS
Yeah.
real fast.
The issue is that at the end of the day, what the German mag played said 30 FPS. We have no idea what version they played. We have no idea if it was just like, hey, we have you on the planet, play around on this
Or
planet.
if it was
wasn't even
capped at
linked.
30,
Or if it
like
was
it always
capped at
is.
30, too.
Yeah.
So
thing is,
the answer is
at CitizenCon last year with the Homestead demo, they had solid
90.
60 FPS.
They were pulling
higher.
it from their own server.
but they were pulling from their own server and they're the only person
That
playing.
was
That's
colo.
the
That
other thing.
wasn't the internet. That was they brought
Yeah.
a box from CIG
Mhm.
and dropped it, and then connected to their own box on a
Yeah,
LAN.
exactly. Yeah.
So the engine, I have no
We
concern
don't
that
have
the engine can do
details,
it.
so we don't know what's going on.
Right, the engine can do it. That's what that demo showed.
Mhm.
Not that the infrastructure can do it.
But
Infrastructure is the whole different world, yeah.
the answer is that more than likely I would expect, if you're playing Star Citizen, to not get any more frames than you have now in game with 3.0 because there's a lot of optimization they're doing with 3.0. However, they're also adding a ton more things.
Right.
So
there's like two things network wise that are being released in 3.0, but they will not. There are just like two parts
of a third
big.
There are three
network.
there are three major
update.
things they're doing with network update. They've already finished one. They're working on the second one, and there'll be the third one. They're not planning on releasing until the end of the year. At earliest is the end of the year. Yeah. So as a result, that third one, which is the big one, which is actually says, hey, fuck off all these updates from everybody else. Only focus on the updates from around you. You don't even need to worry about shit like that's on the other side of Yellow when you're in Security Point Korea. But that's not going to happen, and we're still going to see that your game is updating everything around you everywhere for.
Unfortunately, yeah.
and that's gonna tank your FPS because when you're trying to pay attention to that caterpillar that's transitioning between atmosphere and space, that's loading in the ground scanner for Yellow. Guess what? You also loading in that ground scanner for Yellow, so that's gonna fuck your FPS.
I kind of think the FPS is going to tank. If anything, in 3.0.
Yeah, if anything, it's going to get worse. At best, your best case scenario, I think, is going to be the same. Yeah.
Let's hope that at least Arena Commander, there are things that can be fixed in Arena Commander as well, like hit registration and where the pips are and all that stuff.
I'm hoping that a lot of the stuff that they're doing for the PU is going to improve Arena Commander and Star Marine play. I hope that's the case. Just because.
And
I'm pretty sure that a lot of that stuff is just it'll help because you're dealing with a much smaller universe with a much smaller number of updates. So
yeah, and
we have a lot of desync in the verse at the moment as well. Try and do a dogfight with someone.
I think that's what Noobify is saying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then the other thing that what I wanted to talk about was this code that we're going to get for 3.0. Where they said that effectively, because of the way the Delta Patcher and all the not subsumption, the Mega Map and all that stuff is coming out, it's 100% all new code that looks like the old code. Right? The map is new. It looks old, but it's new.
Yeah,
all the systems
they remade everything. Yeah.
Right. So with that, I guess
the way
that's
the back end works.
30...
They remade everything. Yeah.
Right. So again, it could be better optimization with more schmutz on it, which will neutralize the look. And people are still having fun. It's not like the glorious gaming experience, but it's still trippy. You get in there, 30 is playable. I mean, I have a G-Sync monitor and a big graphics card because I want to see it at 144 hertz, and I'm never going to see that. I've accepted that until way in the future.
It's an alpha.
Yeah,
it's an alpha. It's normal.
And we're not going to see optimizations. People are like, I can't wait to get a 60 FPS. See in 2 years. Like that's
go away.
Easily 2 years.
Positive. 2 years is being positive.
That's me being optimistic.
Because the thing is that people still think it's run on CryEngine, which was able to render things in 144 frames, glorious 144 frames per second
this big
for everyone. But the things they had to recode and the things they use from the old CryEngine is like 9-1 at this point. The only thing that makes it CryEngine is the way it looks.
I'm actually good judging here. They're actually still using significant portions of CryEngine, or Lumberyard, as it were. The things that they have replaced in CryEngine are very important and very fundamental. But they're actually still using significant portions, like the render. The render they're using is
the render is still the original,
and they're planning to go fiddle with that stuff.
No. The actual render I think will still the same. It's just
the problem with the render is
DirectX 12.
it was a 32-bit.
And Vulkan
renderer.
and shit, is gonna change, but the way it looks, the actual
No,
render, the render pipeline.
Vulkan isn't really. Some people misunderstand. Vulkan really isn't a render. It's a graphics API, which is what the render uses, but it's not a render itself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you can always
an important point, but I completely forget it now.
Let's move on to the next to the next question. The point
I like that.
The point that I think we all are in agreement, and I think everyone who's been playing Star Citizen for a while would understand, is that do not expect a significant FPS boost from this patch. Do not.
I'm just gonna be happy that 3.0 has the FOV slider, so my
Yes.
eyes don't bleed.
Yeah, it's
That's
just be
it. That's
happy
my one
you can
thing.
land on a planet
It's gonna be
and
so
find
nice.
shit. But like being able to I can actually set my fucking power so it goddamn matters now. Rather than getting wrecked.
Thank you, Zane.
Getting wrecked because I don't know how to turn my shields on backwards, or I can pre-arm my missiles so I can missile spam people if they come too close, kind of shit.
Rattlers.
Yeah, rattlers. Goddamn rattlers.
Can I do a public service announcement
Oh
first?
God, go for it.
The winner of the voice pack still has not contacted me as a whisper.
Calandris, whisper him.
Dun dun.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from Mayonnaise, who says, "In Squadron 40, do you think our character will have their own quarters or be stuck bunking with the rest of the crew? Yes or no?" I think you'll have a bunkmate. And
Ooh, that's a good question, because we saw several rooms on the Idris where it's not just like a bunkmate, it's like barracks.
well, and you're not a you're an officer. Officers don't bunk with the enlisted men. I'm sorry.
Thing is,
Hey,
I
look,
haven't,
I-
I
I-
haven't read it.
Bunk with the enlisted man.
Huh?
Yeah, I haven't read it, but CIG has released some sort of overall
You talking about the style
fuzzy
guide?
synopsis of what you're going to do, and I kind of don't see my character being like a high-ranking officer on the ship.
I think eventually you will, because they've referenced that you may be in command at some point, but I don't think we're going to see that with Squadron 42. I think that it's a later thing.
What's probably gonna end up? This actually happened straight up in Wing Commander, and probably gonna be some form of analog. So what you would actually do is, depending on your mission performance throughout the game, you would actually rank up through the military ranking system in Wing Commander, and then different things on the ship you'd have access to depending on your rank at that time, and then different some different story things would kind of happen.
Yeah, I expect entirely that your bunking situation is going to be similar, because there's a lot of story to be told by having a bunkmate. Look at us at the Wing Commander movie where you bunk the main.
Oh no!
I know. I don't want to think about it.
Battlestar Galactica. You had Battlestar Galactica, and what was the other one? Starship Troopers. They
Yeah,
all had
had-
communal.
Okay, I'll take that
Yeah,
one.
all
Yeah.
of them have communal bunks. But I think when having at least one bunkmate, and maybe even rotating depending on what's going on, or depending on they could
They die.
Yeah, means you have a chance to discuss stuff with your bunkmate, who could be your wingman, and then
As
you,
long as he
you
doesn't
build up
snore, I'm
stories.
good.
Yeah,
Snores. I'm UCIG. I can't sleep.
but so and I don't think we're going to be in our bunks much, other than say to save the game. I think the bunks may also still be because it's being built into Star Citizen, so I don't think they're gonna do a different save system for
How does
for that.
everybody think though that you need to find a bed to save the game?
I think it's a great idea.
Like if you're on a mission that's gonna take you, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour in Squadron 42, I've been talking about, and you die in the very last minutes of the mission, How pissed off would you be that you needed to redo the entire mission without there being safe
Well,
checkpoints along
back in the
way?
day,
Back in the day,
back
yes.
in the day, that's how
But
that's just how
fuck
they do it.
back in the
Hey,
day.
hey,
We're talking about
Darsh, have you played?
2017.
Have you played Dark Souls?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Dark
I
Souls.
I've watched a lot of. I've watched a lot of gameplay of Dark Souls.
So you know what happens when you die in Dark Souls, right?
I do.
And Chris Roberts specifically said that Dark Souls was a huge. Its gameplay features were
Well,
a huge
fuck
influence
Chris
on
Roberts.
Squadron 42.
Yeah,
So
who the fuck does he think he is anyway?
that's at the end of the day. That's what's going to be. You fuck
like,
up on a
aren't you, Sandy?
mission. You fuck up on a you fuck up on a mission, and guess what? You didn't sleep. You gotta go way back to the beginning of that day where you start all over again, bitch. You
I
know?
don't want to play Call of Duty. You know, where you just magically throw yourself further and further and hope this time that you're able to kill all the bad guys to get to the save point.
Yeah.
That to me,
Oh, the rage
That's
will be
not-
inducing. It'll be inducing rage, but it's just good.
Fucking- Not entertaining.
You lose like 4 hours of progress and just like a full because you know how this is where Mark Hamill was like really into Wing Commander because Wing Commander actually had FMV in it, right? It had full motion video, so it's just fucking like a super pixely version of Chris Roberts' face is gonna come. He's gonna call you a bitch. for dying.
fucking do that. So the thing is, like, I'm not. How long have we been waiting for this? 2013, right?
12, yeah.
It's gonna be
What?
2017.
Get the fuck out of here, man! I've been
No,
out
no.
here since fucking day one.
I know, but
2012
you know what I mean.
November. Yeah, we know.
Okay, fine. I don't want the game to be over in 5 minutes. And
I do 5-minute game.
Definitely not.
if you die and you lose an hour's worth of progress, then turn your computer off, rage quit, go make supper,
Have a wank.
get good, and then come back.
Yes, get good.
Wait,
son.
wait. What happens in between the supper and the coming back to it? What is the getting good specifically? Okay.
Yeah.
Preach, men. The difference would be is that you have to land your ship because you will be able to explore your Idris. So you have to land your fighter onto the Idris. Get out of
It's
your
an
fighter.
Idris.
Fuck you.
There we go again.
Go fuck yourself. And then go back to your bunk. And someone also mentions like you should be able to like say take a nap. I'm like I agree. You should easily go into a bunk and take a nap. However, if you take a nap, it may piss off your commanding officer because if you're on duty, you don't fucking take a nap. And B, it will remove some options from the game for you. Like you'll miss timed events that go on the ship while you're there. You know, and that's fine. That's so if you are a little baby bitch and you want to save every 5 minutes, you can, but you're also not going to get the full experience. Like, and that's the thing about this game is that Squadron 42 specifically has huge influences on difficulty. The purpose, the CIG has said from the beginning that Squadron 42 is going to be a throw your controller across the room experience because they want it to be difficult. They want people to struggle to play. They want people's eyes to bleed, not literally, but you know, they want people to be focusing on a game to have that experience. Like, I finally beat this motherfucker. Fuck you. It took me 13 fucking hours and I haven't slept, but I beat this motherfucker. You know, like that kind of experience because people remember those things and that's what they want to do. So
I haven't slept. I'm high on life.
You start missing work. And then you get fired in real life.
Fired, yeah.
Fucking Squadron
Oh my
42.
God.
Or you go do a resume. I completed Squadron 42. The guy's like, hired. He's got tenacity. He's obviously... He's our guy.
yeah.
He finished it.
I can
They
see
lock
someone
in some
applying
Where
for
was it
the.
to, though?
I can see someone applying for the army, and they tell him what squadron he goes into, and you get ticks like Squadron 42.
Yeah, and
PTSD from Squadron 42.
And as other people are saying, it's the same thing that happened with Wing Commander. It's the same way that they did Wing Commander. And like, I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think you may have a situation where you don't necessarily take a nap. You may climb into your bed and save. But you're not going to be able to do that very often. You're only going to be able to do it between missions.
Yeah.
And so you may be able to play.
There's not gonna be F5 and F9, is there?
No quick saves. I don't think it's going to be any quick saves.
But that's okay.
Yeah, if you want to risk it and say, hey, you know, I've got 10 hours. You know, I don't have work today. The family's out, or I'm just a single 20-something person, and I got 10 hours to kill between now and the next time I have to go to work. and I can get some good sleep or fuck sleep, I'm gonna see if I can't beat mission 4 through 6 in this one sitting. And you could be dangerous and try it, but you could fuck up and then you're back to mission 4 and you have to do the whole thing over again. And someone said, oh yeah, but it's in Dark Souls, it's a learning experience. That's a learning experience too. It's not like the missions change. You have to learn how to
Be smart.
yeah.
So you got a button on your phone which is order new controller.
Yeah. order FCS, you know?
Yeah.
If you look at it from another side, though, guys, if for example you're playing the game, something happens, yeah, not necessarily something bad, but for some reason you have to get up that computer immediately, then you got a problem.
Right.
Yeah, we
right.
can pause the
In,
game.
Escape.
There's nothing that pauses the
Escape
game.
and walk away.
Yeah, you
Escape.
can pause the game. It's just
in Dark Souls, you can't.
No,
though.
if you leave without finishing it, you die.
well, in Dark Souls you can't, but I think it would make sense to have it because it's a single player game and the way it's. I think
Dark
it's,
Souls
it's
is single player.
But you know, Dark Souls is different because Dark Souls does have in fact Dark Souls
Souls is a cunt.
it's a little less punishing than this concept because at the very least you can go back and collect all your shit after you die. Even if you died a long ways away, you know how to like you learn. It's kind of like the rogue-like or rogue-lite experience or whatever, where you learn every time you play, and it's the ultimate fuck you style of the old roguelike experience, but it's still that kind of mentality where every time you play you get better at it and you learn through failing. And with Squadron 42, you might learn through failing, but even the failure states still have they have their own breakpoints. So even if you fail, you can still have a story that leads to the end of the game. It just may not be the best ending, and you could still careen back
Unless
onto the
you
best
die.
ending, unless you die. Yeah. So it's a different type of experience. So like having the ability to say I gotta take a piss and hitting the escape button and going off and taking the whiz, that should probably still be the case. It's not like
Right.
yeah.
Right, and then you have to actually tell the game I took a piss, and then when you land on back on the Indus, there's going to be a very cranky mechanic who's going to have to clean up the
It's
seats
Idris.
of your Gladius.
Idris.
Idris.
Fuck you with the Idris shit.
Next question.
Next question. Anyways, we spent a long time on that. Hopefully we covered some other questions in there. Lyrium asks, love the show. What are your guys' thoughts, ships now being loot pinatas if they have cargo and explode? I'm glad us pirates will not have a reason to shoot. Will Maiden confirm that some cargo gets this float of the ship?
All right. Well, here's the thing: is like if they've said this forever that that EVA drag is like a bug, quote unquote. Probably just weren't thinking about it really. It's but all that cargo that's like going whoop, is gonna keep going for a while.
Yeah,
So you are gonna have to fucking hustle.
Yeah, you're still gonna have to EVA out and salvage all that stuff. And at the
You
same
have to
time,
grasp it and stuff.
And at the same time, I think the reason why the loot pinata exists right now, I don't like the loot pinatas. I think that's a lazy way of doing pirating. It's the same. It's basically what Elite Dangerous did. And you know, I'm not one person. I know a lot of people hate it when I say that, but there are other games that did it, and I don't like that mechanic. And if I see CIG repeating that mechanic that I don't like, I'm gonna say I don't like it. I think eventually, having the ability to disable ships and then steal the cargo from inside the ship rather than having to like blow the ship up means that you have a much more rich experience with pirating rather than just fuck it, we'll just kill everybody. Because
Right, because exploding a ship should mean danger to the entire cargo hold being obliterated as well.
yeah, and
It's all risk and reward, you know. It's all risk and reward in that.
and I think the reason why they have loot pinatas now is because it's just the technology or the stuff for
That's
them.
where they are at that point of the attack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not ready yet. They haven't gotten to the point of disabling ships properly yet, and it'll happen eventually, I think. But
They will change it. They have to, you know. It's just now what we got in the game, as you guys say, it's not there yet. So we have to wait until that all comes in. So for now, it will be a loot pinata, you know.
yeah,
I think hopefully for 3.0 they find something to at least make it a bit more skilled. There needs to be more risk and reward. If you're a pirate and you're going in, the risk that you're going to get fucked up by the guy in that ship needs to be that big. Or how do you say it? Needs to. I don't want to say the word balance again. You know what I mean? But you want the balance in between risk and reward.
Fair.
You need one.
You want Muller yogurt. So
All
much
right.
pleasure, but where's the pain?
Next person comes from Mr. Scratch and Sniff. We already talked about this. What are your thoughts on Chris Roberts saying the recent game interview that'll launch will be 4 to 5 star systems? Someone else said 10-star systems. I think if we had less than 10, it would be understandable, but at the same time,
It's all about being able to fill the content.
yeah, the question isn't like, look at No Man's Sky.
How much?
No Man's Sky is a great example. It has 15 billion, quadrillion, dillion, jillion, million star
Brazilian.
systems, starship systems out there.
But it's shit.
But it's shit. It's boring. It's the same shit
everything's
every
the
4
same,
hours.
yeah.
And
So the number is arbitrary and doesn't matter.
it
just like
doesn't.
we said last
Yeah.
time.
Exactly. So I wanted to emphasize that. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. We talked about it. Moving on. Next question comes from Mayonnaise. How do you think Squadron 42 will start, or how would you want it to start? We already know how it starts.
We already know.
Double
It
click.
opens on
Double click the icon.
The bridge of a Bengal carrier. There's several clowns doing a party. It's Mark Hamill's birthday. Polka
C
dots
colon,
all around.
They're
colon
still
backslash.
wondering how magnets work.
Look,
The Insane Clown
42
Posse
enter.
plays the intro.
look it up though, Mayonnaise. There is actually
Pedro Camacho is out the door. Insane Clown Posse in.
look it up. It exists. They actually tell you how it starts. There's plenty of articles
And
out there if you're interested.
I only heard about 2-3 things maybe. I don't want it to spoil my experience.
exactly.
I don't want it spoiled.
Because the intro is a very spoiler-esque. It's very the way I know what it is, and it's been leaked before.
I think I know what it is as well. Yeah.
But it's a very important part in the story. So it's
They've like straight up said.
they told the whole story.
What?
They told the whole story. Like they leaked the whole story.
They leaked
Chris
it.
Roberts just
Like,
told the whole
they
story
have
like
it
3
about
years
it.
ago. Yeah.
Just like Mark Hamill dies at the end.
Yeah.
Oops. That actually doesn't happen. I'm just fucking.
Don't. Yes, you heard it here first, folks.
Mark Hamill dies at the
Novak
end.
confirms.
That's
Mark
Send
Hamill
all your
confirmed.
letter bombs and hate mail to Papa Dolvac, not to me. Next question comes from Nevermind. Will there ever be a Vanguard rework representing it more like the concept photos showed on the initial sale?
If we bitch
Enough.
and moan about it as much as the Cutlass, maybe.
The turret needs to retract. That's the one. That's the one thing that I would have loved to have seen.
That's still possible with the current model because
Yep.
even the Cutlass doesn't retract the turret. It doesn't mean it's not capable of it.
Yeah.
No,
It's
but
just the animations
concept,
and item 2.0 isn't there.
The concept had the ability that you could pull the stuff.
that
down.
was. So yes, it's possible, and you're right, Darge. If we complain enough, I would rather them focus on making it not a dog, because right now it's a bit of a space turd.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be a space ass-kicking, deep-range, big fighter thing, and it's not.
There's a lot of
We
complaints
don't have
about
the
it.
space range.
We
we don't have
dealing
the.
dealing with people from Enemy Contact, which is Nubifire's organization, and Renegade Squadron, 11th Hour, and Imperium, and even Test
Lioness.
Squadron. Like all of them bitch about it all the fucking time about how the Vanguard is
It's
not
a
what it's supposed to.
$250 space turd.
Yeah, so
It's not a good value for a fighter.
I've heard some people like it, but I know that most of the competitive community hates it. So it's
I
one of those.
love it. I love it when it. And that's
right.
the content.
The-
That's where you
the
are
prob-
supposed to
the
use
It's
problem-
not for the Vanguard though.
No, the
it.
problem
It's a
is
heavy fighter.
the problem about the Vanguard is that the
It's not meant to be a dogfighter.
Oh, sorry.
It
We're
is meant to
talking
be a
about problems with the Vanguard.
Yeah.
All right.
The problem with the Vanguard is someone else pointed this out to me, is that there are like 2 ships that exist that do not fulfill the role they were initially proposed to do. The Vanguard and the Cutlass.
Xi'an.
The
Xi'an
Xi'an
Scout.
Scout. It was Xi'an
Piece
Scout.
of shit.
Both of those ships are the ones that were sold as one thing and they ended up being another. Every other ship in the game has like the Gladius. The Gladius has always been a light fighter. Is
Yep.
it garbage in terms of competitiveness? Fuck yeah, it's garbage. but it's still a fast light fighter. You can still kill shit with it if you're good with it. But people complain about it, but it's not. It was never oversold as something else. People, to a degree, they oversold. The Scout and the.
Scout's supposed to
and
have 2
Vanguard.
seats, and it's supposed to be good,
Super fast and maneuverable, which is
No,
neither.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Uh,
Confirmed.
but anyways, there's the end.
They were made for fighting anyway.
The end thing is that everything can change in this game, and my experience with at least the community is as past experiences said, complain about it enough and people change it.
All right.
You know,
But
And there's
that
still
makes that makes development beautiful, and that makes it beautiful that we are involved in the development. We can moan, we can be salty, we can be happy. You will always have people that moan, and you will always have people that be salty, and you will always have people that be happy. You can't please anyone anyway, Everyone.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can never please everyone at the
all
same
right,
time.
Scrubber.
Exactly.
The Redeemer is a garbage ship, and I hate it. So, it's Nuberfire agrees with me on this one. It's the one thing me and Nuberfire agree 100% on is the drop.
It looks
It's
shit.
garbage. It looks like crap.
It looked cool.
You Doomfire don't agree on that. Fucking no one likes the Redeemer. Like
Yeah.
there's
No,
not
there
a
are
single.
people that really like the idea of
Well, they're
the
wrong.
idea.
They're wrong.
Yeah, they're not wrong. They are wrong. But that's the problem with that is that at the end of the day, it was a fan made ship, not CIG ship. So I don't blame CIG for that
Yeah.
one. Next
There's
question.
a lot of ways to face it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Next question comes from Cutlass Black Lover. Talk about the Cutlass Black rework: toilet, shower, cargo area, and pilot area. Connection between the cargo area and the pilot area. I like
you
it.
will have to hold in your poop for as long as you're on the ship, and I
Space
don't
poop
care.
confirmed.
Who gives a fuck about a toilet? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It's like people who bitch about the shoulder pads on Miles Eckhart. I'm
On
looking at you.
Miles
with a
Eckhart,
bad-
yeah.
badness.
Have you ever used the bathroom on an airplane? Right, where if you
I have.
if you pee into the toilet, it has that like flap that goes down. That's the whole backside of the Vanguard.
Of the
It's
Cutlass-
that's it.
yeah.
You're like, oh my god, they got rid of the toilet. No, man, they just made it bigger. It's the whole
It's
thing.
the whole
The
thing
whole
now.
thing's the fucking toilet now.
Well, it's
This
just
is
like
garbage.
Yeah.
If you play Cutlass, you're a pirate. You should just throw that shit out of the window, man. Who cares? Smear it on the side of the windows.
yeah.
Stuff it into the fan grills.
make people think they're fighting monkeys.
As for the rest of the Cutlass Black rework, I think it's great. I mean, we haven't had a
need to-
chance. We haven't
We
been
need
able
to
play
see it.
I
played with
I
it, but
actually didn't have a problem with it because I wasn't that much attached to the original concept. But if so many people bitch about the thing not being as the
wrong.
original concept, maybe whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the
Fuck 'em.
day, what they said was the performance of the current Cutlass is going to be the performance of the Cutlass rework, and I think the current Cutlass's performance is, barring its shitty weapon placement and shitty ice, like being able to viewing, is pretty much what I'd expect from a Cutlass. It's tanky. It's pain in the ass to fight. If you ever try to fight a Cutlass,
Yes.
they just absorb damage like it's the job. So
Tank.
it's a tank, and the thing about it is that as a tank, its job is to take a lot of damage while its buddies sneak around behind you and fuck your ass up.
So now it's getting bigger
Buccaneers.
and tankier.
Yeah.
So yay!
and it's like a freelancer. You don't want to be in front of it when it fires because it'll kick.
And the
shit.
turret,
and,
two size
it
threes.
has
Yeah.
a much larger cargo capacity
much
than
larger
the
cargo.
Freelancer.
Yeah, it's about the same as the freelancer. But
It can take 2 knocks instead of just 1.
you can take
I
two knocks
will-
as a freelancer.
I will just say one thing too, that if they allow us to use a flash fire mount, that could be a very, very devastating solo ship for
Oh,
a
yeah,
pilot,
definitely.
because you'd end up with a size 4 or 5 and 4 threes. So basically, fat saber with a turret.
It's gonna be fun.
And I think it's what people wanted, a heavy fighter. It's a legitimate challenger to a Vanguard, which is good.
And I would love to tell anyone, if you're loaded, that's a good starter ship.
Yeah, it's only $100. Yes, that sounds like it sounds expensive,
Going-
but like
going
$110 is
Going
pretty.
back.
It's like a special edition for a game. It's not that expensive in comparison. So
I don't know about money, but going back, the Freelancer has the cargo area in the middle and walk-in areas around it.
the cargo area is in
And
the
the
back.
Cutlass,
Yeah.
Cargo is
Yeah, what do you
in
think?
the-
How do you-
but-
in the
There's two doors now. It's not just one main passageway.
No,
There's
hold
there's
on.
two side-by-side doors.
The freelancer, the magnetic constraints for the cargo
You
in the
don't-
middle,
You don't need the magnetic constraints anymore.
but that is basically what constrains where you can put the cargo and where you can walk around it.
Yeah, but the difference is
And
that
in the freelancer, it's in the middle, and you can walk on the left or on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Cutlass, you have one same
but there's no reason to go to the
cargo
back
area
of
on
the
the
Cutlass.
left, on the right, and you walk down the middle.
There's no toilet back there.
But the thing is with the freelancer, you can probably still put two Noxes because Noxes are smaller than dragonflies. You can still put two Noxes in the back. You can only,
We
It's-
don't
it's
have that
Noxeye.
confirmation. You say probably, yeah.
yeah.
But we know that you can put the
Noxeye.
two Noxes or
Noxeye.
Noxeye or
That will
Noxornius.
fill up. That should fill up the whole cargo hold.
yeah.
The way I see it is, you have a Nox in there. That's it. You're
in
you're
the
not
freelancer.
carrying. Well, yeah, both. So don't forget,
but
on the Moby now, you have
Cutlass,
your.
in the
Well,
Cutlass
cargo
side,
manager.
you can
Because of
choose
that, they're
either
not-
the left or the right side of the cargo compartment, and you can
If you
park
watch
on the
that
left and
video,
right,
if
and
you
then
watch
walk
that
down the
video
middle.
from ATV of where they take the Nox in, Darge is
Yeah.
right where they take the Nox in, and they go all the way over to the left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's still
they
a whole
they still
ride.
have that whole other side.
Yeah, but it's not a quick launch in that situation because you're
No,
gonna.
I'm just saying.
Move over
I'm-
and back out.
but from that, I'm extrapolating that the new Cutlass has a much larger cargo capacity than the
The new
Freelancer.
Cutlass is just bigger, period.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
just a
definitely
bigger
bigger than it
shaker.
was.
Yeah.
Let's agree that that it's bigger than it was, and that it's an interesting ship. That it
I
has
like it.
awesome potential, right?
Definitely.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Stasis Guy. Is there anything, any information about emote or other role-playing feature in either 3.0 or later? We have a lot more new emotes coming in 3.0. We've got the make it rain emote that's coming
Yeah.
in. We've got new dance emotes. We've got like lots of cool stuff
If
coming in.
if we get a dab emote, I'm getting a refund.
We're probably going to get a dab emote. We're probably also going to get a
Hold
that
on, I have
means I'm
to go get my
refund.
fidget spinner. I have to get my fidget spinner so I can
fidget
dab.
spinner.
I could dab with my fidget spinners.
We need to
Let's make this a real podcast.
Yeah.
This is a
Next question.
real millennial podcast. For a second.
Next question comes from Headclot. Do you believe in the power of Space Moses?
Yes.
I'm going to give this to Solidarity Report. Solitary Report.
Solitary report.
I'm going to give it to Solidarity. Do it, Solidarity.
Oh my God! Listen, I am the Space Moses. I fly around in my Banu. I preach sake. We're all good. We're all good. I believe in the power of Space
He
Moses.
parts the blockades, the UEE blockades with his hands. You know, that's what he does.
Definitely, yeah. I just do this and everyone goes away. You know, there he comes. Solitary is coming.
Next question comes from Innkeeper, asking your opinion. APPININON. Here, insurance topic. Why not just have it so if you exploit the system by salvaging your own ships or on your onboard of a friend's ship as he is salvaging your ship, it will be seen as insurance scam and you will get insurance.
Fraud.
We've already talked about that. Yeah. It's
Take the LTI away. Just take the LTI away.
Which it can't happen. Yeah.
Oh, you can't. No.
Or give it to
human
everyone. You have
evil.
to give it to everyone.
There'll be enough salt to cure all the meat in the world. If
The
you
church
take
won't
out
matter.
that way.
Yes.
It's fine.
Human Evil asks specifically at Papa Dolvac, how big is your willy? I heard you have no gender.
Look, I'm actually a floating orb of light. The human being that you know is Dolvac is actually just one of my victims who I just become, and I fly into their chest, and there's an extremely painful burning sensation.
He's like Meyer. He's like the foil to Meyer, who's Meyer's just the hat, and Dolvac is just the bitter feeling of resentment and salt. that exists.
Meyer is like Super Mario Odyssey, where he just throws the hat on shit and he just goes into it and becomes it.
Yeah.
So like
But
Meyer,
taking all of
yeah.
that into consideration, 7 inches.
Next question comes from Flyers06. What other module can we expect for the Caterpillar besides cargo? Confirmed or serious speculation? We've already talked about that, but I think it was medical, a transport like a bunks,
Strip club.
an armory, and,
Strip club.
Salvage store.
salvage storing, and I think there's one.
Probably some form of habitation.
Yeah, we already said the habitation stuff.
Yeah.
And they joked about having like a recreation module that would be like a bar or other stuff like that.
And the human torpedo,
if
remember
I
that?
have anything to
Torpedo as
say
well.
about it, sandwich
I
shop
want
as
that.
well.
I mean, everyone wants it to turn into a carrier because of its size. Also, having a carrier, like taking
Hairstylist,
and like
it's a
being
whole
able to
thing.
put,
Don't
like,
worry about it.
Tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Tattoo shop.
tattoo shops. There we go.
Pedicure.
Next question.
Every time tattoos, I need to flaunt mine. 'Cause I like it so much.
Next
I love
question.
it, Dart. I love it.
Next question comes from Krakatoa Jones, who asks, when you go to your bed in a ship, what will be the viability of having the option of your avatar remaining on a ship as an NPC controllable by your shipmates? Probably not. If you go into a bed, you're logged out. You're not going to turn into an NPC.
You're gone.
If you disappear, like if you like lose connection or you just don't go to a ship, you don't go to a bed and you log out, you'll turn into an NPC. But at the same time,
The
if
thing
you
is,
log
when you
out
go
on a
into
solo
a bed,
ship, you're
you turn
NPC.
into an NPC that's sleeping.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah. It doesn't. You don't turn into a usable NPC. The concept of the beds is to allow you to log out safely and allow your ship to despawn safely once there's nobody in there. Like that's the idea. The idea is to allow explorers who are exploring Yella to get back into their freelancer and pass out, and then have their freelancer despawn so they don't get camped and they don't have to start over again.
They also said, though, that if you're in a Saber, you can still do the same thing. It's just that you'd sleep in your seat, and you'd have a
Yeah,
shitty
I
sleep
slept in the front seat of my car, and it's doable. It's not comfortable, but it's
Yeah.
doable.
every night.
Yeah.
Not every night.
Are you in an
I've done-
internet cafe now?
I break into this house to do this podcast, and then I have to leave. I have to untie the family, and then I have to go back in my van and drive away before I get caught. That's how this
Green
works.
screen in the van. Confirmed.
Yes. My Dixie Rex asks, will foliage be present someday as lush forests, or will it be too resource intensive
They said, yeah.
to create
actually-
for a different plants or stuff? Also, did you say the name as I expected? Kappa.
I mean, like,
Dixie Rex?
if you go back and you watch the original CitizenCon 2016 Homestead demo,
Yeah.
they go past an oasis and there are trees.
There's so
There
many
are
trees.
there are
However,
bushes. There are cacti.
Do we-
There's all kinds of shit.
Do we think we're going to have full-on forests? Probably.
There are planets with that.
Yeah.
So
could do.
I like
It was
bushes.
in the Homestead demo.
There was a post on Reddit a while ago that brought into light that no game ever, including Star Citizen so far, has modeled forests properly, because it's not just a bunch of trees, it's the way
Ground scatter.
it
it's how the edges work. I remember this post. It's how the edge of
Yeah.
the forest works. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like
yeah,
thicker-
and,
it's like
and-
thicker at
and
the
you
edge.
you don't have just ground bushes, and you have all the mid terrain, and then we get inside the forest. It's empty because the trees are barren, closer to the ground, and only the high canopies have leaves and stuff like that. That would be great to see. Just because it might be the first game ever to properly model forests like that. Whether they'll actually do it is another thing, but I think we can expect lush and thick forests regardless.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're going to see, and we're also going to see jungles and swamps, and I think we'll see savanna like we saw on the stuff. We'll see lots of stuff. The answer is that these trees aren't going to be as resource intensive as you think, because of how the system, like the major system that's going to save a lot of them on resources is that whole, like, because if you're in a forest where you can only see a certain amount of degrees, guess what? The rest of that forest, your game doesn't give a fuck about. Like, it's just going to,
the level of detail.
Yeah.
Level of detail engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, LOD networking, yeah.
and as well as the what is it, the stream system, the
Object.
stream,
Yeah.
object container system. Yeah,
You're only going to see what's rendered or
Yeah.
what needs to be rendered.
and the game won't render anything else. He'll keep the information there so that when you get closer, it'll load it in, so you don't have to, and it'll load it in LOD, but it won't actually register it. So even though it seems like it'll be resource intensive, it'll only be resource intensive on your PC. So you'll see what as best as you can see in those forests and that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Next
You could
question.
get lost in those. You could get
Oh,
lost
easily.
in that forest for days
Yeah.
without interacting with another person online on the same server.
We're talking
at
about
all.
the biggest maps I think that a video game has ever attempted. I don't think there's a game that is bigger in terms of even one of those moons.
Well,
I
mean,
saw
if you want
post
to, if you
that
want to
the
be
Witcher,
technical,
the entire Witcher 3 map fits into a crater on Yella.
Yeah.
if you want to be technical, there are other like things that do it. I mean, like Elite technically is up there.
Elite.
Elite's up there. Space Engine is up there. You know, stuff like that is up there.
But those are
it's like-
procedurally generated. We're not talking about like this is procedurally generated, but we're not talking
yeah,
about, like-
yeah. I'm saying to the level, no, but of that scale, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
We haven't seen a game like this designed like Star Citizen
No.
for that with this scope. So
Because we're talking about, like, for instance, GTA 5 levels of fidelity and content density at a certain point, but at a scale that dwarfs any game that attempted it so far.
post serialized variables, is that what that is, Preachman? Because I remember they talked about they talked about it was like the object container streaming system, object container system, or something like that. Was the mega map. The mega map was the thing that was gonna fix that.
Serialized variable is basically taking the content that changes.
Your gun is made up of a certain
And-
number of points. Every time you fire a bullet, instead of having to update all of those contents on that gun, it just
Yeah, it's
updates
basically
one.
the bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bullet
That's
being updated instead of the entire gun and the entire player being sent at the same time as well. Yeah.
People give me shit for that because I kind of knew what it was, and so I explained it, and someone's like, "That's not what it is." I'm like, "What is it?" Someone explained it. I'm like, "So it's half of what I said." So people still give me shit about that about that full thing. Next
That's
question.
People
fucking
give you
full.
shit unless you are Jesus.
Yeah.
So, and there's
Next
people will
I'm
give you shit
Moses.
if you
I'm
are
Moses.
Jesus.
We're coming close.
next question comes from Dropping the Deuce. Should CIG continue to sell real money LTI ships post launch, or should older?
No, but they probably will. I'm
Yeah. Should older LTI launch ships have upgraded path to whole new models come out with refreshed CCU? No. I think selling LTI ships will probably happen anyways, even though I don't think it should happen for a concept. But at the same time, I don't think you're going to be able to CCU your LTI ship once the game goes to beta or launch, because at that point they're going to have to force you to play the game somehow. You know.
Paul, do you agree with me that over a certain price, I think there should be an LTI option? Look at an Idris or a Javelin or something
Yeah,
like that.
$1,000.
I don't think you're gonna-
$1,000 and up, yeah. You want
I
that on
don't-
LTI.
I don't think so.
You don't need a Banu on LTI. You don't need
Well,
a
then
Redeemer on
890
LTI.
Jump should have, right? Like
I
we're
don't-
at what
I
point?
disagree. I think at a certain point, even large ships, if the whole purpose of LTI was that if you came in early, you got, and even now it's still early in concept. Like once you reach
can
the
get-
launch stage, go fuck yourself. You came in after
You can
launch.
get any
welcome,
ship.
welcome you brand new people. I love that you're coming in, and I love that you're brand new to the game. But if you want all the shit that we got after we spent 5 years running through the shit of everything that's going on through early development, go fuck yourself. No, I'm done with that. They're gonna do it
I
anyways.
agree
But
with you. I haven't looked at it from that side, but I
Yeah.
agree with you.
So there's Phoenix and 890 Jump are the only two that I can remember that up till now were resold that you couldn't actually CCU to.
Yeah.
So 890 Jump is 48-month insurance, which works out to be like 10 years of gameplay. So that's okay. And the same thing with the Phoenix. That was sold, I think, last year. And it was like limited numbers and it didn't sell out anyways. And it was an anniversary sale and it still had like 3-year insurance.
Which is crazy.
It was crazy. We're fine.
It's crazy.
Goose Fafa.
I think we need to stop worrying about that whole LTI thing anyway. It's
I'm not.
just it's just a convenience at the end of the
saying
day.
for years that LTI will be completely pointless once the game launches.
That's okay.
yeah, I mean the thing is that LTI has killed insurance as a major money sink, but I think that LTI as well is something that they need to tear down on. And the idea of having them only for concept ships is okay. And I think they're going to sell concept ships after launch. It's going to happen. It's what they do. It's. I don't like it, and they said themselves they wouldn't sell ships for real money, but it makes them. They made like $1.6 million on the Nox. Don't tell me they're not going to sell concept ships after launch. because they're going to sell. They're going to make new ships.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't need to buy them.
No, you don't. But that's the thing.
No,
is
you don't.
you can buy them. When
Only
they're
people
released.
who want
more money.
them will buy them. It's not like it's like a paywall for content. If it was, then I would understand it. But if they offer it, okay, you can get it in game if you just put in so many hours into the gameplay and into the mechanics and whatever, you can get it. Or you can bypass that and just give us the raw cashy money and you can get the ship just like that. Fine. But if
it still goes against the spirit of what they initially said, which was they weren't going to sell ships afterwards. But hey,
fuck that.
It does.
it does for sure. And you know what? They're a company, and they want to make the game, and they want to keep the game going, and they want to keep servers open, and that costs money. So if they think it's a way they can make money, they're going to do it until this community says go fuck yourself.
I've always kind of felt that like the whole like, hey, you buy in once, and then once you're in, there's no subscription. We're not going to be selling ships after launch. All that stuff. It's always felt like kind of an all-in on Squadron 42, and like if Squadron 42 doesn't take the world by storm, I don't mean like it's bad. I mean like it's just like we like it, and then like it doesn't really do well outside the Star Citizen community. Mm-hmm. Like who the fuck there is going to buy Squadron 42 like 2, Squadron 42 3, which was what they had said was going to fund the PU onwards, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, there has to be something else there, and like, I'm not gonna like it. I'm going to throw a little bit of a hissy fit. I'm gonna talk some mad shit. Mm-hmm. But I understand that if like they're like, okay, sure, we're gonna have to sell some ships, or we're gonna do something.
What will happen is CIG will have to actually like
sell credit.
Yeah,
sell in-game credit.
They've
already said they will.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. But they will put a limit on it, just like real world has limits on how much cash you can get from a bank, which is fine.
Enough to not break the game. But those people that don't have the time to play super hardcore all the time, who go away for a month and they come back and they want to have enough money to fill up their Hull C and go fly somewhere. Sure, I'm okay with that. Again, like we're saying, it's going to fund the game, and it's not like they're holding a gun to your head that you have to give your credit card information and be CPR'd to the point where you have no money anymore.
And if you don't like this kind of stuff, vote with your wallet. Don't buy it.
You don't have to.
Right. So it's voluntary.
You can make it in game eventually, anyway. I always say we buy into the development of a game.
There was like a very prominent example of buying yourself into something. Was like in the 2016 season of Formula One, there was a racer who basically just bought himself from Russia, bought himself into the game. He bought a team, mechanics, the car, and everything, and just bypassed everything every other racer and every other team done with hard work and perseverance. No, he was fucking shit.
Who cares?
Exactly.
It's so it doesn't matter.
It's
a big waste of money.
Exactly.
So I definitely think it would be a much bigger issue if like this was like something like World of Warcraft, where like the numbers matter, not really skill to a point. But it's not that.
Pay to win. It's definitely not pay to win.
At some point, there is a level of like, hey, if some guy just walks up $1 million and just has a fucking fleet, of course there's some level of that. But at the same point, if he's crashing that fleet into a fucking asteroid, it doesn't.
You can't fly that fleet alone. You can't fly that fleet alone. You know.
Exactly. It would take a lot of hard work. Placed elsewhere to get a team employed that would run the game for you.
Let me use an example.
At the end of the day, it won't matter.
I've played with players who are using Auroras versus Super Hornets in Arena Commander and the PU, and we beat Super Hornets with our Auroras, and our Auroras cost collectively the same cost as one Super Hornet. Like three Auroras versus 2 Super Hornets, we won. Why? Because the Super Hornet pilots were shit. They didn't know how to fly. So
Yeah,
Still.
It doesn't matter if you have
buy
a
skill, you
saber.
can buy talent.
Right, and that's the only saving grace of this game, and it's always been like that. So all the people, you can be pissed off at me. The pay to win thing, you have very minor valid points there, because at the end of the day, if you have a javelin and you have no friends to run it, then you have nothing.
You're fucked.
And
You're fucked.
Yeah.
and there's a lot of
You will die
a lot of people
slowly.
a lot of people who say,
You
"Oh,
have
I
a
want
really cool space house that you can't really move.
Yeah, a lot of people who are saying, I've heard people also say, well, I want an AI. Like I had a guy who came on. He's a nice guy. He just said basically he wanted to put AI turrets on his
Perfect.
on his
Enjoy having an empty wallet.
an AI turrets on his, what was it, as a retaliator, I think, the bomber, and use it as a support, like a support craft, as like a defense ship. And I was like, A, you won't be able to because your AI turrets will have to be downscaled. B, it's going to be expensive. C, you won't be able to run all those AI turrets because there's going to be a power shortage. So
And someone will blow up your retaliator and put you back into character generation.
And he was like, "This,
And then you'll have no money.
Then I won't want to play this game." I'm like, "Then this game's not for
then
you. Find players.
Go play My Little Pony World.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, there's
If
going
you
to
if
be
you just
something
invent
else.
something
thing
in your
is-
head that you think you're gonna do, and then like find out that's not like what this is, don't really get to be disappointed.
Yeah,
Well, that's just you're making. So there's so much theory crafting, I guess, is that people think about stuff that's not actually going to be a thing, like solo piloting Polaris. I had a guy who asked me to sell him an LTI Polaris, and I'm like, "What org are you in?" I wasn't trying to be nosy, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have an org. I just want to be able to be in that ship and go anywhere in the universe and explore without worrying about people blowing me up." And I'm like, I'm not going to sell you the ship because that's fucking not going to
because
happen.
an Aurora will blow you up. I'm
You will
sorry.
die.
Yeah.
You will be permanently pissed off, and I don't want any part in being associated with that ship train that will be your demise.
Mhm.
Right?
So
And I'm sorry. It's like, anyways,
we went
tangent.
we went on a tangent, but it was an important tangent
Good.
in that like like someone else said, like LTI insurance. Someone told me said oh, LTI insurance doesn't screw over insurance because it's only basic insurance. But it's the original idea of insurance was a money sink to prevent players from accruing massive amounts of wealth. Like right now, you can earn like 1 million AUEC just by like doing missions and then never rearming or repairing your ships at all. You can do it pretty quickly, but it's more
LTI,
difficult to actually
yeah.
do that kind of stuff. And LTI kind of removes a lot of that risk. It also removes a lot of that money sink. So they have to find other ways of doing money sinks. So insurance on equipment, yes, and all that kind of stuff, but they have
There's
to make
gonna
ways the LTI works, but it only works so much.
There's going to be tons of things in the verse to take your money away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, LTI is for dumb fuckers like me that forget to insure their ships. You know what I mean?
So the next question comes from Red, who asks, "Will we be rewarded for in 3.0 for playing Star Marine?" I don't know this. I don't know if we're going to get a rec for Star Marine.
I don't want to go
think
into Star Marine.
lack of rec for Star Marine was an oversight from the very beginning. So I think
to a degree it's not, because right now you can unlock everything in Star Marine. Like you get all the armors and all the weapons. I think once we reach
But
that
there's
point,
so much more that's coming in 3.0 that I think, especially modular armor, where you can get like a heavy marine chest
Chest
piece
plates and, like,
and
arm
light
arms and-
outlaw,
yeah.
light outlaw legs and shit like that.
I don't think we'll see it in
that's gonna
3.0.
be.
Racing is still the fastest way to get rec, other than subscribing and paying for it.
I think and
Subscribe now and receive all these new.
Star Kitten.
it's
Yes, exactly.
Subscribe now
subscription-
and pay us extra for the thing that we promised you at the start of the campaign. Whoops.
Anyways, the thing is, Star Marine, you should be able to grind rec on Star Marine. Sure.
I agree.
don't.
Yeah.
There's no
'Cause
reason
I
to.
play Star Marine a lot more right now than I play anything else.
Yeah, but do you need an incentive to
Also,
play it?
I
Do you need-
want a fucking battle royale game mode for Star Marine. Damn it.
Also, this is something very, very important. When we're talking about rec and even being able to unlock, like, buy weapons and equipment in 3.0, it will not persist till launch. It will wipe
Yeah.
at 3.1, almost 100%. They may not,
And
but they've done it
You should be able
every
to rent
single patch.
guns. You should be able to rent guns for the PU.
Yes.
Whatever you rent, you should be able to use wherever.
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, we'll see. It's a
in the
digital
PU,
game.
I think there will be a
but-
different. There'll be a separate rental company in game for Alpha USC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Didn't we have wrecked ships in the PU at some point?
Yes,
Fuck me,
but
Snorri.
they quickly got rid of that. You can get wrecked weapons
And
in
equipment.
the PU.
Yeah.
And equipment, yeah.
The weapons
But
is
I
good
think
because the
they're
timer
gonna get
doesn't
rid
go
of
down. on
that.
it.
No, it does
Yeah.
now. They fixed
And-
that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I understand why they removed the REC stuff in the PU, but honestly,
It
we're still
wasn't-
so early. We're
it-
so early still.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was also.
RC is always meant to be digital only.
It was a
Yeah.
bug.
Actual
It was.
in-game.
It was a bug, but it was something that they overlooked. The reason why they overlooked it was because they said, let's let people try out new stuff. And I think the reason why they removed it from ships was because they were planning on putting ships and equipment into the game with 2.0.
Copy blast.
With 2.6, but that didn't ever, or it was not Copy Blast, but it's the
Oh.
salvage place. You know what I'm talking about?
I know the one with the arm that's moving.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that's in Olisar. And so-
Dumpsters Depot.
Yeah, Dumper
Dumpster
Depot.
Depot, yeah.
Yeah.
Dumpers Depot. So
Sorry.
yeah, Dumpers Depot exists in Olisar, the exterior, and that was definitely a giant sign that they were planning on originally putting buying viable ships in 2.6, but it didn't make it because they were focusing on Star Marine and other things. So the we knew that there was for a while, so that's the reason why they fixed that bug, was because they were going to eventually get to that point, but they never quite did. So we'll see if 3.0 allows those kind of other things, but I personally don't think we'll see rentable or REC rec earning in Star Marine with 3.0, but I don't see with 3.1.
What a fucking
I can see it.
tangent we went on that.
If you see a ship you like, just go take it.
Yeah, you can do that
Is
now.
that-
You can actually do that now. You can steal it,
Take
and
it.
it'll be persistent.
But 3.0 will presumably bring about lockable ships.
No.
No, it
That
doesn't.
was just a picture in a back of a Cutlass.
They,
don't
they,
think-
I don't think we'll see lockable ships, but it's not too far away. but
Although
it's-
we have
it's not 3.0.
legal
We
and
need lockable
physical
ships, though.
ownership.
we do.
Not yet.
Yeah, we do. We
Not
do
yet.
have legal. We have legal and physical.
We don't
ownership.
have 3.0 yet. No, we don't.
No,
We don't
I
know
mean, it's not
what
even
it's
in
going to
3.0.
bring.
No, the legal and the legal versus physical ownership will exist in 3.0. That's
What?
something they confirmed about.
Crazy talk.
So, the idea of you can steal someone's ship and you own it, but it's not your legal. You don't legally own it. So if you try to jump into like Olisar with your stolen ship, then prepare to get your ass blasted by the Crusader security. So. Next question comes from Joni2948. Any chance the Cyclone? Well, chance the Cyclone might be a tracked vehicle like a tank? Sean Tracy mentioned that they can already do this in engine. Possibly.
Would love it, but no.
We talked.
I don't think so.
We talked about
you-
it being a buggy of some kind. So
You can actually see wheels in like the one image that we've kind of seen. Like they're like weird pseudo wheel
Yeah,
things
just
going on.
link
so-
it in chat so I can see it again.
Maybe something like the Pope's car, where someone stands in the back in a glaze.
Pope Mobile.
Pope Mobile confirmed.
The Pope, the new. I actually like the new Pope because the new Pope doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't use the Pope Mobile, does he? Yeah.
Well, the new Pope, like the Pope Mobile, it's like the antithesis of the Pope Mobile, which is supposed to be like the most armored vehicle ever.
Yeah.
But he's like,
I'm gonna drop a link in
convertible.
chat.
Compared to what? A tank?
Oh,
no,
It's
compared to his predecessors.
Oh,
Pope
okay.
Mobile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question comes from Jack Avalon, who asks, "What are the odds we will see a jump through a wormhole at either Gamescom or SitCon 4.0 sneak peek?" I don't think it's too off the mark. That we
I'd
might
like
see it.
to redirect your attention to 2013.
We
Town
are.
Hall.
We actually
see-
saw a jump point.
There's a work in progress jump point graphic.
There were some pre-rendered cinematics of it. Yes.
I believe we'll see a jump point with Squadron
By
42.
Chris Olivia, I think it was.
And
I
they
don't know what
also-
to make of this, guys.
Yeah,
The link
it's-
that Dolvek
Well,
posted.
it says definitely coming soon.
Yeah, that's about it. But the rest of it, I have no fucking clue. what
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
Yeah,
what the fuck that is.
I'm fucking throwing it in Photoshop and fiddling about with the levels. So
Someone posted
Fire.
another version of that, but I'm not sure where it is. If someone could find that, but like the coming soon thing, like if you look at it, there is kind of like this weird, like it's like an empty wheel, right? It's like a
Yeah.
hollow wheel thing, right?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like another wheel that's a bit offset.
Like on the
and
other
it's
side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's-
Yeah.
But anyways,
It's a
jump
bunch of
point.
fucking
Lightning round.
polygons that don't make sense right now.
Yeah, we're at 2.5 hours, and I don't want to do another 3.5 hour one. We only have a couple
I
questions
do.
left, so we're almost done.
Everyone answer with a yes or no.
Well, we'll go quick. These are most of these are pretty quickly. Mouse number 4 asks, "What's everyone's opinion of the secret derelict that was teased at the end of ATV?" We already talked about
Yes. Yes.
that. We already talked about it, so we already did that, which was javelin or a driller.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we said.
My
It's
penis.
either javelin or it's something crazy like
Chris Roberts'
Something we
penis,
haven't
we
even
agreed
seen.
on it.
Yeah. Little Bit of Madness asks, "Do you think we'll be able to parlay when engaging the ship? There's the steel stuff, so everyone wins. Basically, call it even. Possibly, but not in 3.0. You're not going to be
No,
able to
that's
stop.
definitely not 3.0, but
Can I
it was-
just say he will not listen to your question? You know why? Because he's snoring on the sofa.
Next question comes from Alowent, who says, "Do the sides of the
giving me the
cutlass
middle finger,
rework
though.
a well went. A
Alowent.
well went.
Alowent. I always fuck up his name. I don't care. Alowent. Alowent. Yeah. Alowent asks, "Do the sides of the cutlass rework open now?" Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Auntie. Have you ever seen a hedgehog play a piano?
Yes.
Piano, and there's it's super cute. Piano, a piano.
What's a piñata? Is it like a piñata piano?
Yes, it is.
What's an ante?
Auntie is one of my mods.
I know.
There we go. Go watch it.
Everyone
It's
get-
cool. It's cute.
He smacks that piano.
Next question comes from Auntie again, who asks, "What will be your go-to song to hype you up before going crazy in a space battle? Like Danger Zone, Barbie Girl, Halo theme,
Pink fluffy
etc."
unicorns.
Yes.
Barbie Girl by Aqua.
Nine Cat. The Nine Cat. Just on an hour loop of Nine Cat the entire time.
Or Rip and Tear but from the Doom soundtrack.
Oh yeah, get some E1 M1 up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next,
No, but
think I
definitely
would-
Barbie Girl by Aqua.
next
I
question
think I
comes
would
from
go for Barry White.
Yeah, some Barry White.
Barry
Yes,
White.
let's get it on. Yeah.
Get it.
Lyrium asks, "What is the speed of dark?"
Yes.
Yes. Next question from Scroober. "Why do you hate my beautiful Redeemer? It's the only fancy looking ship. It's garbage.
Yes.
It's hot
Not
garbage."
fancy.
Trash. It's some spicy fucking trash, my dude.
It's a hanger flare.
Yes. It's a giant freaking paperweight.
$250 piece of fucking hanger flare.
Yeah.
It looks like a scissor.
Mouse number 4 asks,
Several.
who, by the way,
flyers.
Mouse actually goes Mouse number 4, and then in parentheses, Mouse spells out mouse, number, and 4. And the first one before that he says mouse, not moose. So
What?
I don't know. It's like apparently I or someone else has called him Moose number 4 or Moose no 4. What do you believe? What do you believe player housing, quote unquote, or whatever it is, implement planet based, space station based, etc.
It will be a
Will
hanger.
function within Star Citizen. Craft wall, place, station, place. Are you talking about
No.
like player like creatable?
Assets.
Yeah, it's
blocks.
going to be blocks.
And
you'll have a core.
If you sit in it, it's yours.
So it's gonna be like room based or wall based like Fallout 4?
Oh no! I never think we're gonna get.
No.
Hellion.
Large system.
Or entire outpost.
It's gonna be
Hellion.
prefab
Yeah.
modules that
Solitary-
you'll be able to
Yeah,
together.
solitary. Knows what I'm saying. Hellion.
Yeah,
It's Hellion
they're
space
squares, and if you put another
Yeah.
square next to a square, they go boop, and
Yep,
they're
stations.
together
They connect
now.
them. That's what you get.
So something like Subnautica.
Yeah,
Kind
A
of.
little bit.
basically.
But you're not going to build them.
Probably
You're not-
probably a little less freeform than Subnautica.
yeah, and you're not going to build them from scratch. You're going to buy them, transport them, and then place them.
Yeah, and like
Find them in
like,
space.
Who knows? Yeah,
Wow.
maybe we're going like they've mentioned the whole like game changer ship several times now. That's been a thing, and so like that could be a
Can I
ship
just
that's
say how
like
much I hate that name ever since E3?
yeah,
What?
It's just to make money. That's why they should call it the game changer ship.
it's a planet. It's like a fucking planet, synth world.
That's
$2 million.
no moon.
It's yours. You can buy it.
That's no moon.
Just fly it around.
Red.
Area 18, just going
It's your
around.
mother's
last-
ass.
The last question we have is from Red, who asks, will we lose all our stuff we bought with Rec with
Yes.
3.0 update?
Yes.
Rec is not reset.
Rec is going to disappear, though.
No.
Oh, not Wreck.
3.0?
Rec.
Rec
UEC.
is only for
Rental.
Arena Commander and Submarine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think
So
with
you won't-
3.0, you probably won't even have Rec using for
But wait
anything
7
versus
days and you'll
universe.
lose it anyways.
Yes. So
Like
Rec,
it
Rec doesn't
doesn't
disappear.
change anything. No.
And the stuff that if you purchase it the day before 3.0 drops, you still have
Yep.
that in Rec. It won't be wiped. However,
Yeah.
anything you purchase with AUEC will. And AUEC,
Your gold suit will go away.
yes,
Yeah.
your AUEC stuff, which will be purchased from like 3.0 on, AUEC is going to be the main purchasing for anything in the PU. It's going to get wiped at the end of 3.0, which will be probably like 3.1. I don't think we'll see it wiped at 3.0.1 or 3.0.2.
Yeah.
But at the major patch iterations, 3.x.
Whatever. It's very arbitrary, and we don't know when it's coming, but it's definitely going to get wiped.
And they don't necessarily. They said they may not wiped, but it will probably wipe along the way. So
Didn't they say it was going to disappear at some point, and that we were getting a different system for it?
UEC
Rec
eventually
is
will
going to
go Rec.
remain for electronic arts.
Or not electronic arts, it's electronic access.
Electronic access, right? Yeah. EA. Fuck it.
Aye.
Anyways, that's the last question. I'll take a big bite.
What are you eating, Paul? Tell us.
What are you eating?
I'm eating. My wife is making stuffed bell peppers, so I'm eating the interior of stuffed bell
Is-
peppers, which is burger.
is she single?
cheese. No,
She's single.
she's totally single. I just happen to be married to her. I don't know.
So weird.
Stuffed bell peppers is Eastern European, Middle East, like Central to Eastern European thing, and very much centered exactly where I am.
She's her family's Bavarian, like only a couple generations removed Bavarian. So that's the reason why.
That's like two neighborhoods away from me, like
Yeah.
in that direction.
No, but her grandmother was Bavarian. Like she came to the United States at the end of World War II. So that's why.
He's going to ask you if your grandmother is single in the moment.
Stuffed bell peppers is fucking fantastic,
That's
especially.
amazing.
Yeah, my mom makes like a huge pot this size, and the best is it's at its best when it's reheated for the last time because you do heat it up the entire thing like 5-6 times
times.
because there's so much
This
made.
is social eating.
Yes,
We're
now
gonna
it's
have to go.
becoming.
Well, that's the thing.
Now
Look,
Now we're gonna
No,
we're gonna
no,
we're gonna
fucking
transition.
stuffed bell
We're gonna
peppers,
transition
man.
into the food preparation.
No, we're not.
The food
We're gonna finish
preparation
the show.
section.
This
Because I have to go
is
make
hour
food.
4 is food preparation.
8:30
Hour
and I'm
5
hungry.
is
by the end of the
order.
podcast, we're all hungry now. So, like,
So
30.
with that, I will say go follow all these
hot
wonderful
water.
people, except for Dovak. Watch him, stalk him, and make fun of him. Please do that. Don't follow him ever. Of course, we do this live every Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern,
Tell your friends.
11 p.m. GMT or 11 p.m. BST.
UTC.
If you're watching this pre-recorded on the podcast or YouTube, I do the podcast at the end of the show, and then I also do it on a Saturday or like toward later in the evening on Saturdays, and then I also do it on Sundays, and then I also upload the videos on Wednesdays. So
I just realized what vodcasts are. They're Dave.
With that, we're gonna call it a
Kill
night.
it.
Thank you guys all for so
Just
much
turn the stream off.
for hanging
Turn
out
the
with us.
fucking stream
Like
off.
I say
That's
every
it.
night, hope to see you guys again soon. But if I don't,
Oh,
hope to see you
God.
someday in the black. Have a good night, guys.
killed it, Darge. You ended it. That's it.
Thanks, everyone. That was.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick raid. We're gonna raid a new Star Citizen streamer, so go for it.